at Rusty Bethel Drive. I'm Paisol Forbes. This is ZNS.
It's What's Trending with Jiminita Swain and the Bahama Beauty at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas from Studio A. It all starts right now.
Welcome, everyone. It's Tuesday, April 29th, and you're tuned into the ultimate destination for all things lifestyle, entertainment, and everything in between. I'm Jiminita Swain, and you're watching What's Trending, the show where we bring you the latest trends, hottest news, and insider tips on living your best life. Whether you're here for fashion, food, fitness, or the latest buzz from social media, we've got you covered. Let's dive in. President Donald Trump marks his first 100 days back in office with a whirlwind of executive actions and bold moves that have reshaped the political landscape. From signing 135 executive orders to issuing sweeping policy changes, Trump has left an indelible mark on the nation. Some of the highlights include withdrawing from the Paris Agreement on climate change, implementing a nationwide crackdown on immigration, reversing transgender rights policies, pausing all foreign aid for 90 days, and establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve. While supporters praise his decisive leadership, critics warn of potential overreach and constitutional concerns. Well, in a stunning political turnaround, Mark Carney's Liberals have secured a narrow victory in Canada's federal election, facing off against Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre. Carney's steady leadership and firm stance against U.S. President Donald Trump's trade threats resonated with voters. Despite the Liberals gaining 13 seats, they fell short of a majority, leaving them with 155 seats, still 17 seats shy of the 172 needed for a majority. Poilievre, who lost his seat in Carleton, Ontario, remains defiant, pledging to hold the new government accountable as Canada navigates a new political landscape. Carney vows to build a stronger, more independent nation. And today is Wish Day, a day where magic meets mission. Celebrated every April 29th, it marks the anniversary of the very first wish granted by Make-A-Wish in 1980, a 7-year-old boy's dream to be a police officer. Since then, over 500,000 wishes have been granted around the globe, each one proving that hope really can change lives. Whether it's meeting a hero, becoming one, or simply being a kid again, today is all about the power of believing in the impossible. So, go on, make a wish. The world could use a little more wonder. In today's show, we journey through the time and toast to the present. First, a powerful sit-down with Dame Marguerite Pindling as she reflects on the courage, chaos, and change of Black Tuesday, a day that reshaped Bahamian history. Then, from legacy to liquor, we pour into the deal zone, where Liquorland brings the heat with deals worth raising your glass to. That and more after the break. You're watching What's Trending.
Good to grow, keeping you in the know, keeping you in the know. God, that's good enough to eat, that is good to grow. It's good enough to eat, that is good to grow.
Nestled in the Moss-Town settlement, Bahamaland Farms is making waves on Exuma's local agricultural scene with its dedication to cultivating high-quality fresh lettuce.
Romaine, as everybody knows as well, iceberg lettuce. We do want to continue to grow different species of lettuce, not just stick to the same main three. At some point, we do want to start growing, like I said, tomatoes, onions, different forms of herbs, mint leaf, all these different forms of produce.
Crop Supervisor Kimani Clark also shares what the farm hopes to achieve in the future.
Now, another thing that we wanted to get into is building hydroponic systems in schools and have shown them how to maintain it and so on and so forth, so they could have that not so normal agriculture experience in school. Most classes in agriculture, they don't get to experience the hydroponic way of high-tech way of growing produce and so on and so forth. So that's another thing we're looking at for the time being.
The farm has become a key supplier for local restaurants, promoting farm-to-table dining and enhancing food sustainability on the island.
We've been mainly focusing on well-known restaurants and hotels such as Ranald's, Tim's on the Bay, Peace and Plenty, Cocoa Plum Bistro, so on and so forth. We do want to expand to a lot more small local business. Any local business that needs produce, we want to expand and focus on them as well.
Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Leah Cooper.
In the quiet strength of her voice and the clarity of her memory, Dame Marguerite Pinling takes us back to a defining moment in Bahamian history. Black Tuesday, April 27th, 1965. It was a bold act that shocked the nation and changed the course of Bahamian history forever. On April 27, 1965, opposition leader Celinda Pinling stood in the House of Assembly and, in a dramatic gesture, a protest threw the Speaker's mace, the parliamentary symbol of authority, out of the window and onto Bay Street. The move was in defiance of what many saw as political gerrymandering by the then ruling United Bahamian Party, an attempt to suppress the voice and vote of the majority Bahamian population. Now, what followed became known as Black Tuesday, a turning point in the Bahamas' fight for majority rule and a spark that ignited a new political consciousness across the country. Today, nearly 60 years later, we reflect on that day through the eyes of someone who lived it, not just as a bystander, but as a wife, a partner, and a pillar beside the man leading the charge. We're joined today by Dame Marguerite Pinling, wife of the late Celinda Pinling, to share her memories of that moment and the movement that followed.
Myself, Beryl Hannah, and I think it was Cecil Wallace Whitfield's wife, I think Mrs. Jones Stevenson, I'm not too sure, were in Parliament Street, and we were told to remain there in the hopes that we might be able to take messages to and from the leader in the House, from the chairman, Cecil Wallace Whitfield, who was the chairman at that time. He was in charge of the ground. And of course, and we were told to remain there in case we'd have to run cook errands. And Mrs. Esther Ambrista was also a gopher. She used to us in Parliament Street, to the women sitting in the street, in Bay Street, letting us know the mood of the people and how much longer we could keep them as quiet as they really are right now. But at one point they were getting a little antsy, then it started to rain, and that really turned things, Bahamians scared of rain. But we managed to sing there should be showers of blessing until we were able to calm them down. But the throwing out of the mace, that was the best. You thought Inago was the best kept secret? The throwing out of the mace of the House of Assembly was the best kept secret. My husband even talking in his sleep, so I didn't hear nothing.
You had no clue?
Not a clue. But there was whispers on the streets, because we would get news out somehow. Don't you tell anybody, I'm only pinching you so you don't pinch anybody else. But it was quite exciting, and as you know, we Bahamians are very easygoing people. We're not boisterous. We take everything. Sometimes you wonder if they're listening, but they are listening because they're able to repeat things long after what was said had been said. But around 11 o'clock, we had a message from Mr. Whitfield to say that he's going upstairs in the House of Assembly to let Mr. Pinling know that the people are getting too close for comfort to move now. And sometime after that, I don't know whether it was about 10, 12 minutes or what, we heard this shout in Bay Street, in Rawson Square, actually, by Queen Victoria's statue. We couldn't see anything. We were only able to hear because there were so many people. And where we were stuck, by this western door, and every time I drive Bay Street, I say, you western door kept me away from that real action. But it was quite an exciting time, and Bahamians like excitement.
We love it.
Whether they understand it or not, so if they say it's all right, yeah, let's go for it. But there was one time when the then magistrate of the Magistrates Court in Bank Lane was about to read the Riot Act to the people. Move from Bay Street or get yourselves arrested. And there was a union leader by the name of Cadwell and Brister who surged past the crowd and headed for that magistrate, shouting at him, telling me, you ain't reading that in here today. And because if that had happened, all hell would have broken loose. But we were able to hold him back. Because, I mean, you know, we're here fighting for what is best for us as the majority of the people in the country. You're trying to read the Riot Act to tell us we can't in your own country.
Crazy.
Crazy, yeah. But other than that, things went very smooth. It was such an exciting time. Women voted in 1962 and we gained the majority of the votes, but we lost. And that set trouble in the parliamentarians. I mean, this has to stop. I mean, you know, like we preached and prayed for the women, and next thing we know, they got the seats and we got the votes. That is what started the thing. That's what pushed it along.
And you said this was the best kept secret. So you didn't know it. You knew that something was going to happen.
Yeah, but you didn't
know what
exactly
exactly was going to happen.
And that, who would have thought of that? I was told that at the meeting, then Mr. Pinling asked who was going to throw the mace out. And everyone, they said, looked from one to the other and said, you. It gave him a jolt. And I think they said after he composed himself, he agreed, yeah, well, as the leader, I guess a lot has fallen to me, you know, and, but that was...
So tell me something, what went through your mind hours after this? You told us it was a peaceful protest. Just suppose something had gone wrong. Look at the people that would have gotten hurt. It would have been a stampede. And obviously your husband was a leader, because you talked to us about how he was able to lead the people peacefully away after. I mean, what was that like, seeing him in that moment?
But your heart pounding, praying that, oh Lord, don't let anything happen, because it would have only taken a spark. And myself and Beryl Hannah, we stayed behind on Parliament Street until the crowd would have left to hear what the other side were having to say, and we were being ridiculed, and we don't know what we're doing, and we can't run our own homes, and we talk about running House of Assembly and all that. All sorts of things were said to discourage, but we were determined to follow the leaders wherever they said to go, do whatever they said to do to help to get the job done. And the women supported 110%.
Yeah, because I was going to say, obviously, you were the encouragement as well to keep the men going. Because I would imagine that would have been very difficult at that time to stand up to the power and say, hey, no, this is my country. This what you're doing is not right. It's not fair.
But when they said you can't run your own home and you won't run house, well, that said one hell, you know. You don't speak to us like that. You know, we were born here, we land just like their land, and we want our equal rights.
And despite how everything went peacefully, were there any fears of backlash or consequences for the action?
No. More fears of a backlash was during the struggle for independence. Pinling was always at the Colonial Office in London, preaching the case, he and Sir Milo Butler, for the majority of the Bahamian people. And I look back now and trying to remember, I can't remember the things that was said, but the cause, why are they doing this? It's now materializing with my eyes wide open when I saw our little young Neely boy in Jamaica representing.
Egan Neely.
So this is what it's all about. Creating young Bahamians, strong, independent, and educated.
Yes.
Because as you know, education was the key. That was Eddie Hannah's baby. You know? And materializing in front of my very eyes, Clarence Bain used to say. So this is what the teachings and the preachings and the sacrifices, and there have been some sacrifices. You have no idea.
So when you look at today's generation, especially the young Bahamians, do you think that they might misunderstand or overlook a lot that happened in that era?
Yeah. We're not telling them, and it's a disservice for the young children because they should not be allowed to think that the Bahamas was always like it is today.
Diet-friendly special.
Here at Immigration Care Service, you can trust us, especially if you have experienced issues or problems with the U.S. immigration at the borders. We'll do our best to provide options and solutions to immigration roadblocks so travelers can continue visiting the U.S. and residents can continue living their lives in the U.S. without worries. The best part? Our services are affordable and accessible. Take the mystery, confusion, and fear out of your immigration concerns. Contact Immigration Care Service today.
During part 2 of Dame Marguerite's interview, she reflects on a better Bahamas.
And here it is that we come to want something better for your people because it's out there for you, but we have to work at it to get it. But we have to do it in a gentle way, a peaceful way, and continue to preach love because in those early days, one did not move without the other. I could vouch for that because we had to check, see what you're doing tomorrow. You going that way, I'm going this way. Where will we meet? And then we report to the leadership, and they, of course, you know, we had to get things done.
So what was Sir Lyndon like at that time? How was he at home? Was he calm, focused?
Too calm.
Did he have a lot of pressure or weight on him?
If he had it, Mom, he never showed it. He never brought it home.
And that was a lot to bear. Like you mentioned the fact of what happened after women voted. So it seemed one fight after the other, right? So how did you stay motivated and how did you keep the leader motivated?
Because he was. If he had brought a sad face home or a complaint or something, all hell would have broken loose, I tell you that. But Sir Lyndon only wanted to have a good meal. If he wants to come home for lunch every day, as you probably been heard that he came home for lunch every day, suck his snapper head, chewed up his crab body, a Bahamian meal every day, every day, every day. So much so he brought friends and didn't let me know he bring in company. Sometimes we ain't had enough to share, but anyhow, but we made it. He never brought his problems home.
So love and unity.
And that is what kept me going. Because let me tell you something now, if he had shown 1 ounce of anything,
it might have been a different kind of fight.
I can tell you that. Because the women were always out there waiting for the word. And I wasn't too far away with it.
How important was your faith to you throughout all of these many years, going through so much changes as the country was evolving? Obviously, that played a critical role.
With the prayers of the Baptist women, leading by the women out of Bethel Baptist Church. They prayed to the mercy seat. And that is what took us through, with our faith in God and faith in our people.
How did politics impact your personal and family life in those early years?
Many times he promised the children he would take them, spend the weekend with them and all. Something he couldn't make it, apologized. They cried. They said he'll make it up. And I want you to know, as soon as he was able to make it up, there was a boat available to sail them down to Kemps Bay. It was only because he wanted to sleep. That's why he chatted about they could do what they like, but just leave me alone so that I could get some sleep.
Wow.
And so he would sail down to Kemps Bay and rest, get a good night's sleep, eat up. Listen, it was fun on the family. You wouldn't have known that was the Prime Minister because he was fun-loving, likable, easygoing, kind.
Now, you mentioned the bombing in Apico. That obviously was a fearful event. But did you fear for his safety or your own?
Yes. Yes. I said, my children can grow without a father. We had no... He was always away. Fortunately, I had some ladies' friends who would come and spend the weekend with me. They'd come and cook and serve tea and all that to sort of keep me occupied, you know. And he would be in touch with the home every so often to let us know everything is going well, you know. It wasn't easy.
So if Sir Lyndon were here today, how do you think he would view the Bahamas as it stands now?
Disappointing. And our young people, because he believed in the young people, because they're the future leaders of tomorrow.
Yes.
And that they're not going to school. We had no schools. I used to teach down in South Andrews under the big almond tree, the little ones, teaching them ABC on a blackboard with chalk. And A.D. Hanna's dream was to educate the Bahamas. That's what a country is, that's what a government is supposed to educate your people so they can stand up and think for themselves.
Yes.
But something went wrong with our education system. I see children on the road at 9 o'clock, little babies. What are they?
Or later. Where are you going? Where are you going?
Why aren't you in school? What happened to the truant officers? And you know, I'm a very political person. When Finlay wanted to introduce that National Youth Service, they said, "Lane, put each other in there. Michelle and Leslie and Obi, make them." Now today, here we are.
So tell me then, you talked about the highs, you talked about the hardships, you talked about the history, because there's so much. What are you most proud of?
And if they can't see anything else, they can see National Insurance, which is a great help to them. And for that, I am grateful. I'm sorry we haven't been able to put together National Youth Service because it's badly needed. Get some guts and stand up and do it.
Well, Dame Marguerite, I want to say a special thank you for allowing us into your home and sharing with us the moments that were Black Tuesday and that created the Bahamas that we see today. So thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and chatting with me today.
Diet-friendly special.
You've got termites and need to get rid of them fast? Trust Rentokil Initial. With over 60 years experience in the Bahamas, the global brand, training, and expertise can't be beat. Only Rentokil Initial gives you a 3-year warranty and payment plan options on termite fumigation. No one can match the range of treatments we offer, such as fumigation, pre-construction treatments, termite monitoring, and more. No matter where you are in the Bahamas, we will come to you. When it comes to complete termite eradication, there's only one name, Rentokil Initial.
Summer in the Bahamas. The weather is hot, but not as hot as the ZNS summer packages. Get ads on ZNS TV or ZNS Radio Network or the TV community page, or a combination of all three. ZNS has got you covered with great prices, whatever package you choose. Book before June 7th and get the local Federation Championship Baseball bonus full of all kinds of extras free of charge. Contact your account executive or call ZNS Sales at 502-3800 today. Hot summer package rates valid until July 31st.
If you're looking to lift your spirits literally, then you've come to the right place. Today on the Deal Zone, we're uncorking the story behind Liquorland with sales associate Adam Augustine. So, of course, you brought some of Liquorland's popular tequilas because Cinco de Mayo is right around the corner. And let's start with the brand everyone knows, Jose Cuervo. I see this is a limited edition Reposado, and Reposado is considered a little bit pricey, huh?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
The lovely Delilah was going to come in and assist us in this taste test before we get into talking about the different brands you have with us today.
Jose Cuervo, it's a nice tequila, good for cocktails. You could drink it neat, or you could drink it on rocks.
Remember this, Smith. You ready, Delilah?
It smells like the regular tequila.
Okay. You say it smells like the regular tequila, so she know top shelf stuff. So what do you think about Jose Cuervo? Okay, that's it's positive. And so what are some of the other tequilas you have for us here?
We have Don Miro. It's our owner, Mr. Don Miro. This is tequila.
So talk to us a little bit more about the Don Miro. Like
what makes this one different from that one?
Yeah.
So it's basically the same thing flavor-wise, but this one is more smoother.
All right, that's enough, Jesus.
So tell us about your reaction to the Don Miro. And this is the Don Miro Gold, right?
Yes, ma'am. It is.
But this one is much more lighter in taste, and it has more. You can smell the more vanilla in this one than you can smell it in the other one.
It's a Blanco. So what's different with the beyond the color, which is obvious the difference, but what's different with this one than the Gold?
The Gold is aged, and this one isn't.
And I think that these are aged for a longer time, or
this is aged for like 8 months to a year, and this one isn't aged at all.
I think she's ready, guys. And so now you have the comparison of the gold and the silver. What do you think?
Silver.
I don't know. She's speechless. This is a rarity, but
For me, if I had to choose between the three, I'd go with the gold.
Yeah. Okay, so the gold sounds good.
It's much more smoother than all of them.
All right, thank you. So Espolon Cristalino, I don't think I've ever heard of this brand, Adam, so this is new for me. What's the finish like with this particular brand?
The finish like? So I would say, because this top shelf is also smooth.
All right, so what can you tell me about the Don Julio Aneo, another top shelf brand?
Don Julio is also similar to
Jose Cuervo.
Jose Cuervo. It's vanilla and caramel also. It's woody aroma. And I would say it's best for cocktails, like for a margarita. So this month we have up to 20% off. So first bottle, 5%, second bottle, 10%, third bottle, 15%, fourth bottle, 20%. We're located in the Palmdale area across from Modernistic.
Okay, sounds good. Great chatting with you, Adam. Big thanks to your team for giving us a taste on what's trending. And thank you, Delilah, for always being a good sport. Stay tuned. We will be right back after the break.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this brings great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community, also help with the education of our kids in this community, and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Stripe and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
On Wednesday's show, our friends from Amorphia will give us a peek on what they have to offer. And that's the show. We wrap up another trending day. Thanks for hanging with us here on What's Trending. Remember, the conversation never stops. Catch up with us on Instagram at What's Trending on ZNS. Share your thoughts and let us know what you think should be trending next. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. with more headlines, highlights, and heat. Until then, stay curious and most of all, stay connected. See you later.
At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is ZNS.
This is the Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition has a look at stories making news tonight. Royal Caribbean gets the green light to acquire the iconic Xanadu Hotel. Also, the Minister of Health gives the latest on the long-awaited Freeport Health Campus. And chairman of both major political parties addressing unofficial candidate lists circulating online.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight, it's a done deal. The acquisition of the Xanadu Beach Resort by Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, Celebrity Cruises Incorporated, the investment totaling a value of over $300 million. The Ministry of Grand Bahama issuing a statement on the sale, noting that government has approved several investment projects aimed at driving economic growth on Grand Bahama Island, and the sale of the iconic property is one of them. The redevelopment is expected to resolve a long-standing issue with the dilapidated resources and, at the same time, deliver a brand new experience for visitors to our shores. The ministry describes the project as multifaceted, with more details to be revealed in due course, reaffirming confidence in the island's future. Once again, the ministry is calling on Grand Bahamians to prepare for the opportunities ahead, encouraging members of the Grand Bahama diaspora to consider coming home. The statement ends with the assurance, we will continue working steadily to revitalize the economy of Grand Bahama. Well, the announcement of the final approval for Royal Caribbean and one of its affiliates to acquire the 40-acre Xanadu Hotel site was released during the Central Bank's first quarter presentation, with plans to transform the property into a major recreational and entertainment destination. Jolanda Thompson-Everest sat down with port officials who also played a major role in this deal and joins us live now with the details.
That's right, Ramiko. Another major deal is in the books as the Davis administration approves Royal Caribbean's acquisition for the 40-acre Xanadu Beach Hotel property. Grand Bahama Port Authority President Ian Rule weighing in on what this means for Grand Bahama and how residents should prepare for what's ahead.
We welcome them coming to Grand Bahama and doing even more than what the press has spoken about. So I think this is a good time, not only for Royal Caribbean, for Bahamians to invest in the.
Roll did not delve into the specifics of the acquisition, but he emphasized the significance of Carnival's Celebration Key, MSC's development, and now the $348 million deal with the Royal Caribbean cruise line Celebrity Cruises. He noted that the involvement of these global entities sends a strong positive signal about Grand Bahama's future. As for what comes next, he urged residents to get prepared.
Our desire is to connect Bahamians with the opportunities that's right in front of them. Pay attention to what's going on, do their research, gain knowledge, and participate in this growing tourism economy, which I think is going to be the most significant growth that we have ever had in Freeport within the next 5 years.
He stated that the 40-acre property, which is expected to be transformed into a recreational and entertainment hub, will have a major impact on the economy, and he adds that this investment, along with others in the pipeline, is exactly the kind of development they welcome.
Just like the Carnival Cruise Port, Carnival is going to have a big entertainment component, and what that allows is a number of Bahamians will now be investors in the economy, not just workers. So again, I welcome Royal Caribbean, MSC, and whoever else, Disney, let's bring them all to Freeport.
Now, we reached out to Royal Caribbean Cruise Line Celebrity Cruises for a response on the breaking news, and their spokesperson expresses that they are always accessing their portfolio and continues to explore future projects to offer best vacation experiences for their guests and drive economic growth in the communities they visit. This news comes just days after the passing of hotel property owner Mario Donato, who died 2 days before the announcement. In an exclusive interview with ZNS News, Donato expresses excitement about the sale, saying that he hoped it would bring more investors and job opportunities to Grand Bahama. Live from Xanadu Beach Hotel, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest. Back to you, Romiko.
Thanks so much, Yolanda. In other news, the government making good on its promise to ensure that the island of Grand Bahama receives a world-class healthcare facility. Tonight, our Shane Stubbs reports that the Freeport Health Campus continues to make steady progress here on Grand Bahama.
Behind me stands the infrastructure that will become a transformative milestone for modern healthcare on the island of Grand Bahama. And as you can see, the second floor is about to take form. Now, according to Health Minister, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, he says the completion of the first phase of the Freeport Health Campus is right around the corner.
In the next month, the residents of Grand Bahama can see an expedition of this particular project, and we will now begin to bring more manpower resources on the site now that we have some additional drawings from the BET group. There were some headwinds, but we're behind that now, and we anticipate turnkey for phase 1A and 1B here on the Freeport campus, hopefully by the end of this year, early 2026.
Once turnkey commences following the completion of phases 1A and 1B, the health minister says the campus will provide key services for residents, headlined by its oncology unit.
We will be providing oncology services for our cancer patients and also add additional services for the residents of Grand Bahama because the Rand Memorial Hospital is not a full hospital.
At current, the Rand Memorial Hospital is operating through a memorandum of understanding with the Princess Margaret Hospital, according to the health minister, and is earmarked to become a secondary facility that will provide geriatric care, psychological services, and same-day surgeries once the health campus is fully operational.
We are now in discussions about the construction of the second phase, which is the multi-story tower, which would complete what is necessary for the Rand Memorial Hospital. I want to thank the contractor, our Prime Minister, who was very keen in the project.
The Freeport Health Campus will be just another step to revitalizing healthcare on the island. Just yesterday, an agreement with Western Atlantic University School of Medicine was signed, which allows the health campus's neighbors to expand their facility in that same area, which ties into the government's overall vision for the future of healthcare.
Our vision for these 100 acres of property in this area was to develop a medical school, medical training, a hospital, as well as institutes and biomedical companies who will be able to interface in this medical campus and to be able to provide quality healthcare services locally and abroad.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Switching gears now, as election fever sweeps the nation, a second unofficial candidate list has surfaced online, stirring speculation, raising eyebrows, and prompting political parties to set the record straight amid growing public curiosity. Raven Davis reports.
Election fever is heating up across the country, but so too is voter curiosity. This as another unofficial candidate list, the second in just a matter of weeks, has made the rounds on social media, naming some political hopefuls and the constituencies they're expected to contest in the upcoming general election. But it's its authenticity that remains in question.
The PLP has 2 seats in Grand Bahama, and we're pledged to defend those seats. So there's no candidates as such for those seats, although we have an organization which allows people, if they wish to challenge incumbents, to do so once they follow particular processes. But we are pledged to defend the incumbents who are in those seats.
Those incumbents named Ginger Moxie in Pine Ridge and Kingsley Smith Jr. in West Grand Bahama and Bimini. With 5 seats up for grabs in Grand Bahama, PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell says the party's eyes are especially on Marco City.
We want to have a targeted campaign against the leader of the opposition. We don't believe that he's fit to be reelected in that seat. And so we're looking around for a good candidate for that. And I'm advised that someone is very much interested.
Now, the list tied to the PLP includes Dr. Monique Pratt from Marco City, Ginger Moxie for Pine Ridge, Brian Lowe for Central Grand Bahama, James Turner for East Grand Bahama, and Kingsley Smith Jr. for West Grand Bahama and Bimini. But Mitchell urges caution, insisting the party is simply preparing to defend all seats.
Lists can circulate and people can say whatever they want to say. Right now, that's the position.
Meanwhile, the FNM's reported candidates for Grand Bahama are Michael Pintard from Marco City, Dr. Charlene Reed for Pine Ridge, Darren Cooper for Central Grand Bahama, Kwesi Thompson for East Grand Bahama, and Daquan Swain for West Grand Bahama and Bimini.
There's been some lists circulated that, this one going to run and that one. We have ratified nobody. Absolutely nobody.
And as for when official nominations will be announced, FNM Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands had this to say.
You know, we got a good Bahamian word. Say directly.
With the election not constitutionally due until 2026 and Parliament not required to dissolve until October 10 of that year, for now it's a wait-and-see game. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
Heading now into news from the crime beat, police officers from the Drug Enforcement Unit are actively searching for 3 men wanted in connection with an ongoing investigation on Grand Bahama. Authorities confirmed Tuesday with our Matthew Martinborough and shares more details in this report.
Take a look at your screens. Officers from the Drug Enforcement Unit on Grand Bahama are actively searching for these 3 men. 1 from Grand Bahama and 2 from Abaco, in connection with possession of dangerous drugs with intent to supply and possession of an unlicensed firearm. Those men are John Saunders, 28 years old, of McLeanstown. He stands at 5 feet 10 inches tall, dark brown complexion, medium build, weighing around 180 pounds, dark brown eyes and black hair. Samuel Cooper, 26 years old, of Cooperstown, Abaco, standing at 6 feet 3 inches tall, slim build, weighing at 150 pounds, dark brown complexion with black hair. And Byron Cooper, 37 years old, also a resident of Cooperstown, Abaco, standing at 6 feet tall, heavy build, weighing at 355 pounds, dark brown complexion, dark brown eyes, and black hair. Anyone spotting them, please approach with caution as they are considered to be armed and dangerous. The public is urged to contact police immediately at 911, the National Crime Prevention Office at 302-8430 or 302-8431, Crime Stoppers at 352-1919, or Family Islanders 300-8476. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Matthew Martinborough.
And still to come.
The Grand Bahama Port Authority gears up to host the Freeport Business Expo. We've got those details, plus sports and more when we return.
The
Imagine a world where every brand knows your name and every store awaits your arrival. Elite shopping, travel where luxury is a lifestyle and every journey feels like home. Dine where every flavor is just for you, every table reserved, and every moment a taste of perfection. Make every big moment even bigger. Experience banking where wealth isn't just managed, it's maximized. Step into a world without limits. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Get ready for the Freeport Business Expo Tourism Edition 2, happening May 1st and 2nd. Network, explore, and grow with top industry leaders. Register today at freeportbusinessexpo.com. Calling all singers, musicians, songwriters, and music producers from Grand Bahama. The Ministry for Grand Bahama invites you to enter the Welcoming Home Grand Expo Song Competition. Win $5,000 for first, $3,000 for second, and $2,000 for third. Go to ministryforgb.com for competition eligibility and guidelines.
Catch the Easter sale at Esquires during the month of April. Buy one suit and get a shirt and tie absolutely free. Give them a call today at 352-8816.
Third Dimension is celebrating Mother's Day with 25% off housewares. Stop by Friday, May 2nd or Saturday, May 3rd and find the perfect gift to make Mom's Day extra special. Located on Yellow Pine Street, Freeport. Grand Lucayan invites everyone to the biggest and most elaborate Mother's Day Sunday brunch happening May 11th in the Grand Ballroom. Enjoy live music, food stations, giveaways, and special performances. Tickets are on sale now at the lobby. Call 373-1383 for more information.
Sizzling summer savings start early at Grand Bahama Tiles with a 25% off store-wide sale. This Friday, May 2nd and Saturday, May 3rd, catch the savings and upgrade your home decor early with sizzling summer deals. And don't miss our 35%, 40%, and 60% off summer clearance corner. It's a hot, sizzling summer store-wide sale at Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. The Grand Bahama Port Authority is set to host the Freeport Business Expo, bringing together local businesses, industry leaders, and aspiring entrepreneurs for 2 days of networking, innovation, and economic opportunity at the Grand Lucayan Resort. Shalia Roll has this report.
As the resurgence of Grand Bahama is on the horizon, the Grand Bahama Port Authority continues to show their commitment to the island. The port is hosting the Freeport Business Expo to educate Grand Bahamians on new tourism ideas, financial opportunities for Bahamian entrepreneurs, and resources from proven industry leaders. President of the Port Authority, Ain Roll, says that the expo is expected to aid in entrepreneurs' growth and development, especially with the many tourism opportunities on the island.
The idea behind the event is to introduce local Bahamians to vendors, local vendors, foreign vendors who we would have met over the many years of traveling to these various conferences. And these vendors have unique offerings that probably do not exist anywhere in the Bahamas.
Roll also expressing why it is important for residents from other islands to take part in this event.
The significant uptick in tourism throughout the entire Bahamas, that it's important for entrepreneurs in the various islands to also participate in this expo because they will see unique offerings that probably does not exist in New Providence or Exuma or Abaco or Andros or any of the other islands.
To assure the success of the event, the Port Authority has partnered with entities like the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce, Grand Bahama Island Promotions, and the Ministry of Tourism, all expressing their excitement for the expo.
Business is nothing if it doesn't have customers. And the Port Authority Group has done its share of work to ensure that there are customers for Grand Bahama coming along. Business also is nothing if it doesn't have products to provide to customers that customers want to buy and want to pay for. So it is our pleasure to be a partner in this Freeport Expo.
Empower our locals in terms of the tourism industry and also strengthen our economy. So we are looking forward to a very successful event.
The Grand Bahama Port Authority is inviting the wider community to the Freeport Business Expo as it is set to be held on May 1st and 2nd of 2025 at the Grand Lucayan Hotel. The event is open for the public, but participants must be registered. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shalia Roll.
Well, finally, in news tonight, he was once known as the life of the party, energetic, full of jokes, and a standout athlete at Hawksbill High. But today, Roger Bubbles Roll is facing some of the toughest battles of his life and is in urgent need of help. Shalia Roll has his story.
Once known as a spirited athlete, Roger Roll, affectionately called Bubbles by many, is now fighting the toughest battle of his life. The former Hawksbill High student who once ran track and played softball with passion and pride is facing a cascade of devastating health challenges and needs urgent help.
He needs some encouragement because right now I don't know what to do.
Roll's life drastically changed in 2017 when he suffered a stroke. While he fought hard to recover, many challenges followed. He was later diagnosed with breast cancer, a rare condition in men, and underwent surgery to remove his left breast. But instead of relief, tragedy struck again. An infection developed shortly after the procedure, landing him in the hospital in critical condition. Doctors placed Roll in a medically induced coma to stabilize the infection. He remained unconscious for 15 days. When he finally woke, he was blind, the result of complications now linked to glaucoma. Now battling new infection in his legs, Roll's health continues to decline. His mobility is currently limited due to his conditions.
First, I thought it was cancer through the legs, but it was a thing called lymphedema. Lymphedema is a rare disease where the red cells are eating out the white cells. Through the grace of God, God still give me strength to try walk and be strong with it, you know?
He now lives in near isolation, burdened not only by his illnesses, but also by public misunderstanding and judgment. Some in the community have turned away, leaving him to face these challenges with little support.
Scoring on me, people was laughing at me, people was spitting, talking. People even throw feasts on me when I was homeless.
Roger Roll is now appealing to the public for help. Donations can be made directly to Roll's Bank of the Bahamas medical account. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shalia Roll.
We certainly hope that he gets the help he needs. Well, Jay, what's coming up in sports?
What's coming up in sports? Island sports for primary schools. Some of the future Olympians and craft athletes will be in action all week long at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex.
All right, good stuff. That's coming your way next. But first, a check on the local weather forecast.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
Celebrate the incredible women in your life this Mother's Day. And don't forget the special offer from Cornet Bahamas. From April 16th to May 16th, enjoy a fantastic 35% off store-wide. That's right, everything you need to show your love and appreciation is on sale. Whether it's a heartfelt gift for mom, a treat for yourself, or something special for that amazing woman in your life, we've got you covered. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Visit any one of our stores today. Make this Mother's Day unforgettable with Cornet Bahamas.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
I still want to put shoes on your feet.
I want to put some shoes on your feet.
And I still want to put shoes on your feet.
We still want to put shoes on your feet.
2 locations to put shoes on your feet. Downtown Freeport, and now our newest location in the Carmichael City Shopping Plaza, right behind the Walk-Up Wendy's, Carmichael Road West.
Now, I know I've said it before, but this time, I swear it's different. Grammy dreamed about this number, so I won't lose. I can't lose. This is my last time. Please, son, just give me one more chance. I'll give it all back to you.
Excessive gaming affects more than just the gamer.
This message has been brought to you by the Gaming Board for the Bahamas, which encourages you to game responsibly.
The Ministry for Grand Bahama invites residents and Grand Bahamians everywhere to unite and celebrate our beautiful island in grand style at the Welcoming Home Grand Expo, July 2nd through 10th. It's a week of events that you cannot miss. Save the date and get ready for Welcoming Home.
Sizzling summer savings start early at Grand Bahama Tiles with a 25% off store-wide sale. This Friday, May 2nd and Saturday, May 3rd, catch the savings and upgrade your home decor early with sizzling summer deals. And don't miss our 35%, 40%, and 60% off summer clearance corner. It's a hot, sizzling summer store-wide sale at Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
A new era is dawning in Grand Bahama. An opportunity, it's knocking louder than ever. Introducing Tract B, Bahama Reef Yacht and Country Club, Unit 1. A prime corner commercial property, footsteps from the Port Lacaya Marketplace, crystal clear waters and white sandy beaches. This expansive 4.8-acre tract is zoned for commercial and multi-use development. Envision a thriving restaurant, a boutique hotel, or an entertainment hub unique to your vision come to life. You can live, work, play, and learn in paradise when you seize this rare opportunity today. Collaborate with DevCo and let's shape the future of Grand Bahama Island together.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports Top and Sports. The Fidelity Bank Domino's Hut Pizza Hut Primary School Track and Field Championships is set to begin this week at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex. The four-day meet begins Tuesday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. daily.
We are thrilled to have over 700 athletes from 23 schools around the island under the theme, "It's all about our little darlings." The event kicks off on Tuesday with 3 field events: under 9 boys and girls ball throw, under 11 boys and girls high jump, and under 13 boys and girls long jump.
And our defending champions repeatedly in our big school section is none other than U Campbell Primary. Our middle school champions are would be Freeport Gospel, and then our small schools will be Sunline. It affords everybody the opportunity to compete in a different age bracket, not age bracket, but category, affording all schools a chance to win, because everybody's not a big school like the Maurice Moores, the Freeport Primaries, and the Walter Parkers.
Next in sports, course in Week 12 of Little League Baseball, the Red Sox scored 13 runs to the Lions, 12 runs to get the win. In 12U play, FES Royals scored the win against the Tigers 13-12 in a close one. And the Lions dominated the Dodgers 14-4 in 16U play. Also scored some Rising Stars Little League Softball. West End Sharks shut out Superstar Batitude 7-0 in 10U action. And the Sharks again beat H2O Trucking Rebels 7-2 in 12U play. Last in sports, Grand Bahama athletes continue to make a name for themselves in swimming, even with limited resources, according to YMCA Director Karen Pinder-Johnson.
I can tell you that the swimmers here on Grand Bahama are hungry. The athletes here on Grand Bahama are hungry. We've always been the underdog, so we work extremely hard. The programs are really strong here on Grand Bahama. Of course, there's always room for improvement. A 50-meter pool will do us well, but we got to take into consideration everything that comes with a 50-meter pool. But as it stands right now, we have 3 25-meter pools on the island, and all of the pools are working very hard with the athletes, and that's why you see this year we had 15 out of Grand Bahama that actually participated in Carifta 2025.
And that's your quick check on sports. Your Facebook friend of the day is next. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
Get ready for the Freeport Business Expo Tourism Edition 2, happening May 1st and 2nd. Network, explore, and grow with top industry leaders. Register today at freeportbusinessexpo.com.
Sizzling summer savings start early at Grand Bahama Tiles with a 25% off store-wide sale. This Friday, May 2nd and Saturday, May 3rd, catch the savings and upgrade your home decor early with sizzling summer deals. And don't miss our 35%, 40%, and 60% off summer clearance corner. It's a hot, sizzling summer store-wide sale at Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles.
And I'm Jay Philippe.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, past, present, and future. The Bahamas reclaims its own narrative through the eyes of a dozen esteemed authors. Also, a gated Western community rocked by tragedy. Hear what preliminary investigations have so far revealed. And a sense of stability and security, equity and wealth as another group of Bahamians become homeowners. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now. Everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. An historical event of significance that helped to change the political, social, and economic landscape of the country reenacted just this morning. It was Tuesday, April 27th, 1965. Tired and frustrated, in an act of defiance that would put the wheels in motion to create what we now refer to as Black Tuesday. A moment of political courage and belief in nation stood firm. The 60th anniversary of that moment recreated this morning. The setting, once again, the House of Assembly, this time the role of key players from back, performed by high school students.
Mr. Speaker, no longer will we continue to sit back while you take away what is rightfully ours. No longer will the government take away what the will of the people. Today, we ask you, will you allow us to be silenced, the voices of the people? We will no longer be oppressed, Mr. Speaker.
Now, outside the House of Assembly, a crowd gathered today, just like they did all those years ago. Some recall today's matched perfectly the temperature back then, and then came the iconic moment.
We will fight for equality in this country called the Bahamas. Mr. Speaker, in my hand, I hold the mace that represents your authority in this House. But authority on this island belongs to the people. And the people...
Conduct yourselves! Honorable members, conduct yourselves!
Well, a pillar beside the man leading the charge, Dame Marguerite, widow of Sir Lyndon Pinling, has oftentimes shared memories of the moment that sparked a movement that fateful day when the ceremonial mace was tossed out the House of Assembly's window in protest of unfair gerrymandering of constituency boundaries, a moment she proudly deems the best-kept secret in the Bahamas. Still, as she recalls, there were whispers on the street.
Around 11 o'clock, we had a message from Mr. Whitfield to say that he's going upstairs in the House of Assembly to let Mr. Pinling know that the people are getting too close for comfort to start move now. And sometime after that, I don't know whether it was about 10, 12 minutes or what, we heard this shout, in Bay Street, in Rawson Square, actually, by Queen Victoria's statue. We couldn't see anything. We were only able to hear because there were so many people. And where we were stuck by this western door, and every time I drive Bay Street, I see western door kept me away from that real action. But it was quite an exciting time, and Bahamians like excitement.
We love it.
Whether they understand it or not.
Dame Marguerite says only hours later she asked herself, what if? What if something had gone wrong? What if someone had gotten hurt?
Heart pounding, praying that, dear Lord, don't let anything happen, because it would have only taken a spark. And myself and Beryl Hannah, we stayed behind on Parliament Street until the crowd would have left to hear what the other side were having to say, and now we were being ridiculed, and we don't know what we're doing, and we can't run our own homes, and we talk about running House of Assembly and all that. All sorts of things were said to discourage, but we were determined to follow the leaders wherever they said to go, do whatever they said to do to help to get the job done, and the women supported 110%.
Dame Marguerite laments, though, that all the teachings and preachings and sacrifices are being lost on the younger generation who are not being told the story. A disservice, she says, to the many who are inclined to think that today's Bahamas always was. Well, in an historic setting for an historic day, crowds returned to the grounds of Southern Recreation Park this morning as the nation remembers the events of Black Tuesday. But as our Corval Pyfrom explains, our education system today literally started a new chapter, this time one entirely written by and for us.
Along with marking the 60th anniversary of Black Tuesday, which symbolizes a seminal moment in Bahamian history, this was also a moment to unveil the first ever Bahamian-authored history textbook for secondary school students.
Let us be clear. This is not just about a textbook. This is about decolonizing our minds.
Prime Minister Philip Davis again using a familiar phrase. As long as the lion learns how to write, every story will be glorified by the hunter. The new textbook, written by 12 acclaimed Bahamian authors, represents a paradigm shift in our education system. The new textbook, called Toward a Common Loftier Goal, is being introduced to students in senior high school.
And so I say to every student, we'll crack open these pages. Learn it, own it, love it, see yourself in it, be proud of it, add your own chapter to it.
We want our young people to burst through mediocrity and break new ground.
This project is being hailed as the brainchild of Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin.
This new history text, in case you haven't seen it. We hope will help our young people to garner a greater sense of self and engender a deeper understanding of who they are and what they are and where they must go, and to incite a critical analysis of their own contextual reality.
The history text covers a wide range of themes, from pre-independence right on up to contemporary history. It follows strict academic guidelines, and getting it across the finish line, says Steering Committee co-chair Dr. Chris Curry, meant crossing over many hurdles.
Where we as a nation could celebrate the launch of a history text that is both comprehensive in scope and content, yet reliable, relatable, engaging, enriching, stimulating, and student-friendly.
The textbook is expected to be placed in schools this coming school year, just as the country's education curriculum undergoes a revision, the first since 1982. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corval Pyfrom.
Meantime, back in 2021, women secured 7 of the 39 seats in the House of Assembly. Today, those women are hoping to have even more join frontline politics, holding firm that it's necessary. Danielle Dean has that story.
Back in 2021, history was made when Ministers JoBeth Colby Davis, Pia Glover Roll, Patricia DeVoe, Leslie Miller Bryce, Glenys Hannah Martin, Ginger Moxie, and Elisa Raming became part of the largest number of women ever elected into Parliament. On Tuesday at the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians Workshop at Super Club Breezes, joined by female politicians from Nigeria, India, Samoa, and Sri Lanka, the Bahamian women highlighted their delight in celebrating the political accomplishments of women worldwide.
I want to make a diabolical move in Parliament itself. One of the things I like to say is this. I'm often attacked because of my style and my stance. But I believe that when we sit in the men's world, we have to conduct ourselves in a fashion that is like this, authoritative.
Speaker of the House, the Honorable Patricia DeVoe, says due to the impact that women have in politics, she'd like to see at least 15 women elected after the next general election. Minister of Energy and Transport, the Honorable JoBeth Colby Davis, outlined this is what she and the international female members of Parliament aim to accomplish.
See economic empowerment of women, see more of us included at the table, the decision-making table, to help us to continue to build and grow our country. And I think it's important for me to be here and supporting my colleagues, Madam Speaker of the House and Madam President, just so they can see that the female parliamentarians in the Bahamas do believe in the economic empowerment of our women, and we support initiatives that put that work forward and want to be able to give our support where we can to make sure it continues.
Deputy Speaker of the Progressive National Party in Turks and Caicos, Jamaica Williams, also making her mark in our country's history books as the first woman to assume the role.
We just had a constitutional change, so we're now a full parliament. And I ran in the elections first time, and I was victorious, having 3,911 voters who turned up and voted for me and my party. And we were successful at getting 16 of the 19 seats, and I was appointed the Deputy Speaker of the House. So it's a very humbling experience.
Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the national report. There's more news in a moment.
Imagine a world where every brand knows your name and every store awaits your arrival. Elite shopping, travel where luxury is a lifestyle and every journey feels like home. Dine where every flavor is just for you, every table reserved, and every moment a taste of perfection. Make every big moment even bigger. Experience banking where wealth isn't just managed, it's maximized. Step into a world without limits. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Yes, I will marry you.
For the juicy, crunchy, irresistible taste of a KFC Big Deal, some people will do anything. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. BTC customers, claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
What is it? Oh, ghost pepper burger. Chicken. I always at Popeyes, so let me just come and taste that chicken.
Wow.
Nice. Crunchy. This is off the chisholm.
Wow, that is way better than I expected. Very spicy, extremely spicy actually. The bread is very soft. The chicken is juicy. Yeah, that's spicy food.
How do ideas become plans? Plans become memories.
So you like my buffalo?
And dreams become your life.
This is my child.
Do you remember when hope became a house? When that house became a home? Your ideas are everything, and we're here to help make them happen. Your idea of yes, I can happens here.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, where safety is first.
Well, you're looking at a shot there of West Bay Street, more specifically in the area of Cable Beach. That shot courtesy of our trusted cameraman, Neville Smith. Well, welcome back. Talking finances now. Central Bank Governor John Rowles says efforts continue to ensure more measures are put in place in the banking sector to protect low-income individuals. He acknowledges it's a necessary move to promote more inclusive financing in the industry.
For us, one of the priorities is to make progress in introducing a basic savings or transactional account where it would carve out some protections against the range of fees for those who have limited financial means.
Well, he says they're also looking at ways to improve service levels in the sector as more customers choose alternative channels to complete transactions.
Having customers use those alternative channels, we are also focused on making certain that no one is excluded from access through those channels. We are not going to be able to distance ourselves from the fact that it is very costly to provide financial services in the Bahamas. This is a country of 400,000 people. We sometimes overlook that fact. And so we have to also put continued effort into tackling the cost of getting the services to the population.
A white hearse escorted by a police squad car leaving the gated community of Sandy Port last evening inside the body of a 47-year-old man who apparently opted to end his life, leaving relatives in shock and horror.
Shortly after 8 this evening, a concerned resident contacted Cable Beach Police Station, spoke with one of our senior officers, and requested a wellness check of one of the residents. Officers responded and gained entrance to the home, where they discovered an adult male hanging from the bathroom. EMS was contacted, and they examined the body and found no signs of life. Police is encouraging all persons who may be going through a struggle, going through challenges, maybe even depressed, to reach out to a trusted friend, colleague, pastor, someone, so that proper assistance, proper help can be given to you. Those family members or friends that know of persons that are struggling, know of persons that are in depression, to check on them regularly and try and get assistance for them, as we don't want another suicide in our country.
The matter has been turned over to His Majesty's coroner. Well, as the country grapples with reports of yet another suicide in what appears to be a disturbing trend, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville recently addressed what's being done from policy standpoint to address this potential epidemic.
We have addressed that time and time again. We have a new mental health bill. We're implementing that particular bill in stages. We have now partnered with the Psychological Association of the Bahamas to assist us because we have a shortage of psychologists. And so in the interim, we intend to ensure that we utilize them.
We also have details tonight of an overnight shooting here in the capital that's left a man fighting for his life. Again, ShotSpotter technology alerting officers to Peter Street just before 9 p.m. Investigating officers soon found out that two men were outside a home in that area when a black Nissan March pulled up. Now, the occupants reportedly exited and opened fire, riddling a 30-year-old man. At last report, he was in stable but critical condition in hospital. Stay with us. On the Beat is after the break.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
What if I told you Wendy's has a new burger? With a flavor so secret, it's almost too delicious to handle. Well, now it's time to unlock that flavor. Try the new Sweet and Smoky Barbecue Cheeseburger. We can't tell you everything, but we can tell you that it's packed with flavor, including our secret barbecue sauce. Try the new Sweet and Smoky Barbecue Cheeseburger today. Available for a limited time.
Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group presents the Legends of Breaking Spray. Get ready for the biggest names in Bahamian music live on stage. KB, Funky D, Gino D, Bishop, and more, like the Singing Bishop. Mark your calendars for Saturday, May 10th at the Farm, Marshall Road. Gates open at 6 p.m. General admission 80, VIP 120. Tickets available at Missouri, Bookkeeper, and at the Beauty Shack. Both locations, Skyboxes and Sky Pod. Call ESC Distributors at 394-0819. Email keepthevibealive242@gmail.com. Saturday, May 10th. Come by boat and play and experience the legends of Rake and Scrape. Brought to you by Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group, ESC Distributors, Missouri, The Plug, The Beauty Shack, Bahama Sea, Bookie Brand, and Caribbean Wines and Spirits.
Are you straight? Bro, I ain't getting no service. I can't make no calls. I can't post nothing on my stories. I don't get it.
Wait, you on a live? Shad, come, let's fix that. Come. This one needs saving. Pour them over, please.
Say less. Sign up today. Enjoy 5 gigs on us with select prepaid plans when you port your number to Alive, or 3 months free Alive fiber services when you port your landline.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station, open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
This portion of the news is brought to you by 700 Wines and Spirits, bringing celebration across the nation.
A significant milestone for 14 Bahamians who are now homeowners thanks to Arawak Homes. The Bahamian residents receiving keys to their brand new homes during a private ceremony in the Carmichael constituency Monday afternoon. Our Desmond Saunders was there.
A gleeful moment for 14 Bahamians who now occupy the newly constructed units built by Arawak Homes.
It's quiet, only 14 homes, and it's out the way. So this is going to be a very close-knit community in here, and literally there's only people who live in here need to come in here.
The single-story family structures will be outfitted with modern amenities and features, and President of Arawak Homes, Frennan Wilson, could not be more satisfied.
We are so excited. We're opening our newest community named after a contractor who has been working for more than 40 years.
The newly constructed home sits on James Hamilton Close, a new housing subdivision created by Arawak Homes off Carmichael Road, named in honor of veteran Bahamian contractor James Hamilton.
Mr. Hamilton is one example from the construction sector of someone who has been at a craft specialized for more than 40 years and providing homes for people to actually move in. And so that is one of the reasons why we thought that he would be fitting to be an example of someone from the construction sector to honor in this way.
Well, it makes me feel very proud, me and my family. It shows that dedicate yourself to anything you want to be or anything you want to deal with in life, and the end results would come out positive.
Now, this new subdivision by Arawak Homes, part of a continuing effort to provide affordable home ownership to thousands of Bahamians. A new subdivision presently under construction in the Prince Charles area will be available to residents in the coming weeks. Desmond Saunders of Bahamas Tonight.
Well, thanks, Desmond. Now we toss it over to LaDonna Marlena, who joined us live for a sneak peek of what's coming up in Access Now. Ladies, what you have for us?
Well, Kushla, have you seen the reenactment of Black Tuesday in Parliament today?
I did.
And have you, I guess, done any drama or acting in school? You and Marlena, have you?
I know Marlena has. I did a little bit in primary school, just a little bit.
What did you do?
I did a lot.
Do you remember what it was?
I care not to say.
Would you like to share, LaDonna?
Well, I've done poetry and recitals and that sort of thing.
There you go.
And I've been in the drama club as well, back in Bryland, so it's been pretty good. I'm sure you're the acting guru.
We had a lot of fun with that, but I think that's so good for them because I feel like that helps them, even if you're not big into history in class and you don't think you are, it helps them feel more part of everything and get a little more invested, I think.
Yeah. And get our history out in a very creative and innovative way.
Yeah.
Well, stay with us. We have more when the National Report returns.
diet-friendly special?
How do ideas become plans? Plans become memories.
So you like my new
And dreams become your life.
This is my child.
Do you remember when hope became a house? When that house became a home? Your ideas are everything, and we're here to help make them happen. Your idea of yes, I can happens here.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance agents and brokers.
S. Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
Is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
And that does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
One's independence is determined by our ability to earn a living, which is why unemployment can dampen one's morale. The NIB Unemployment or UEB benefit allows for up to 13 weeks of income replacement, allowing some time for you to get back on your feet. Before applying for the UEB, you must have an Employer's Termination of Service layoff certificate, or Form B-80, which is completed by your employer, and the unemployment card, or B-81 form, given to you when you register with the Department of Labor. To claim UEB, one must complete the Form B-82, or Claim for Unemployment Benefit form. Fill in all sections of the form, providing personal details, information to determine your eligibility, recent employment history, banking details, providing your account number and not your debit card number. Sign the bottom of the form, declaring that the information given is true, and date the form. Before submitting documents, double-check that all fields are accurately completed. All forms must be submitted within 3 months from the date of unemployment. Incomplete forms, forms with incorrect information, or late forms may delay the processing of your benefit application or result in the forfeit of your benefit. For more information and to access all NIB forms, visit the NIB website at nib-bahamas.com.
Excited to be here in the Bahamas. We were lucky enough to be introduced to the expo by Ian Rule. He called us and said, we'd love to have you exhibiting at the expo. We saw it as a great opportunity to get down here and introduce the area to our compact catamarans.
This is the moment. May 1st and 2nd, Freeport is the move. Register today at freeportbusinessexpo.com.
Join us on Social Mania, a new and dynamic game show based on the Ministry of Education's primary and junior high school social studies curriculum. Students from schools across the Bahamas go head-to-head as their knowledge of social studies is challenged. In this episode, Gambier Primary battles with Sadie Curtis Primary School. Which school will emerge as winner? To find out, join us as these two schools engage in intense competition. Don't miss it.
This is The Rundown, giving you the story behind the story, with a new perspective every Thursday, with host Ahmad Rashad Thompson. This is The Rundown.
The Hidden Disabilities Sunflower is a globally recognized symbol for persons with invisible disabilities.
The sunflower lanyard made our journey less stressful, smoother, and more inclusive.
REACH is proud to support the Hidden Sunflower Scheme, which makes the invisible visible. So far, the Nassau Airport Authority and the Nassau Cruise Port are sunflower certified.
So if you see someone with a sunflower lanyard, always remember to be patient and ask if they need some help. Please be kind and always remember to show respect.
We wish to encourage more hotel operators with amenities such as water parks, restaurants, cinemas, government offices to join this initiative, making the Bahamas a more sunflower-friendly country.
Please feel free to reach out to the REACH office at 328-4123, or you can reach out to the National Commissions for Persons with Disabilities at 396-8700.
Join us each Sunday at 5 p.m. and Tuesdays at 2:30 p.m. for Legends, the Untold Story, here on the ZNS Television Network.
Join us on Social Mania, a new and dynamic game show based on the Ministry of Education's primary and junior high school social studies curriculum. Students from schools across the Bahamas go head-to-head as their knowledge of social studies is challenged. In this episode, Gambier Primary battles with Sadie Curtis Primary School. Which school will emerge as winner? To find out, join us as these two schools engage in intense competition. Don't miss it.
It's Black Tuesday. The reenactment is straight ahead.
And our Felicity Darville brings us the sights and sounds of Ghana. So stay close for that.
Plus, let's hear it for the boys. The Governor General's boys, that is.
Hey, Denise Williams. And coming up in sports, Buddy and the Warriors take a decisive 3-1 lead.
Bahamas Tonight Access Now starts now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis.
And I'm Marlena Leonard. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
An interesting day in history, Marlena. We now have our first history book of the Bahamas that will be taught in our public schools.
And I think that's really fantastic. And obviously, it's a really big day in history. But one of the authors, Patricia Glinton-Michaelis, recently passed away. And of course, I wish you were here to be a part of this historic day.
Indeed. But let's dive right into the news, shall we? Today's commemoration of the 60th anniversary of Black Tuesday will undoubtedly hold particular meaning for the students who took part in the day's reenactment exercise. Students were chosen to portray several prominent figures from this significant moment, and our Corval Pyfrom caught up with two of today's leading actors.
In this spectacular reenactment of that seminal day in our nation's history, these two young male students, DeLon Evans, a 12th grader at Aquinas College, and QC 10th grader Grayson Roberts, took center stage in their leading roles in a scene from Black Tuesday 1965. And an exchange between the then leader of the minority party, the Progressive Liberal Party, a young Lyndon Pindling, and then Speaker of the House, Robert Simonet, of the United Bahamian Party.
It gave me an opportunity to showcase what our former leaders did for us, and it gave me an opportunity to reenact one of the more major players of our history, Sir Lyndon Pindling, the father of our nation.
As the Speaker of the House, you know, that's the person who's in charge and making sure everyone's in order in the House, you know, and of course on Black Tuesday, order wasn't exactly there, so it was really cool to, I guess I could say, to reenact that scene.
Both students say preparing for their roles entailed learning as much as they could about Black Tuesday and the events that led to it. They both say this experience has deepened their appreciation of this historic moment.
Got goosebumps, really, reenacting the whole scene. And I really do appreciate the opportunity, and I appreciate the ministry for giving young people the opportunity to see their history in action.
And as, of course, the Prime Minister would have thrown out the mace and my power was pretty much gone. So it just goes to show that democracy is prevalent in our nation and that's how important it is.
And it's a safe bet neither will be forgetting this experience anytime soon.
For me, it was inspiring. It gave me great enthusiasm as I played in that role as still independently.
Yeah, I've always dreamed of actually going to Parliament and watching a session. So to actually sit there and, reenact the scene or participate in different aspects of the House of Assembly was really special. And of course, to sit in the Speaker's seat, Patricia DeVoe's seat, was really special for me.
For the Bahamas Tonight, Access Now, I'm Corvell Pfeiffer.
Thanks, Carvel. Well, the Afro-Caribbean Global Business Trade Show came to a close, but not before our Felicity Darville took some time out to explore Accra, the capital city of Ghana. She found the sights and sounds of a vibrant city with a people filled with heart, powered by their culture. Here's her feature report.
The drums of Africa reverberate, reflecting the heart of the Ghanaian people who gathered to welcome their brothers and sisters scattered throughout the Caribbean. The event came at a time when countries around the world are redefining their trade borders. The Afro-Caribbean Trade and Logistics Consulting Group's Sabrina LaFleur.
Together with powerhouse partners such as the McDan Group, our African Freight and Logistics Collaborator, ACT LCG aims to build the strategic pillars of a new Afro-Caribbean economy. Those pillars are strategic alliances, an efficient fuel strategy, and a digital retail ecosystem. Let me break this down. We begin by aligning a network of visionary stakeholders, African manufacturers, Caribbean shipping and logistics experts, and ACT LCG's own consulting and development team. This creates synergy across borders, allowing us to secure public-private contracts that drive regional development.
And speaking of regional development, Bahamas Trade Commission Chair Senator Barry Griffin says the city of Freeport can serve as the nucleus.
Grand Bahama Island, an industrial island in the Bahamas, is home to one of the world's largest deep-sea ports based in the Western Hemisphere. It is a sleeping giant, ideally located for the transshipment of African goods to the Caribbean, North America, and Latin America. 2 years ago, I had the privilege of visiting Ghana with Minister Ginger Moxie from the Ministry of Grand Bahama, and I am now here with Mr. Kingsley Smith, Member of Parliament, also from the island of Grand Bahama. We saw firsthand the entrepreneurial energy, manufacturing capacity, and agricultural potential of this country. Since that visit, our teams have worked tirelessly to research, engage, and plan for a new economic bridge between Ghana and the Bahamas.
The Afro-Caribbean Global Business Trade Expo is essentially building bridges between African and Caribbean governments and companies that will build wealth and sustain cultural ties for future prosperity. From Accra, Ghana, for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Felicity Darville.
Well, 150 boys between the ages of 12 to 19 years old from around the country will be flying into the capital for the first ever Governor General's Boys Conference and Retreat. Permanent Secretary Jack Thompson says it's the brainchild of the current Governor General, Dame Cynthia Pratt.
One of the reasons why we're having it here as opposed to a hotel is Her Excellency is of the view that some of our boys just see this pink wall. They've never even thought in their wildest dreams about coming inside the precincts of Government House. And so we thought that to come in here would mean a lot. In recent times, our boys, particularly our boys, have been struggling with a number of issues, and I mean, it's in the public domain. But a lot of our young boys need to just be encouraged, need to be inspired, need to hear a different voice from what they've been hearing in their particular domain or area. And so Her Excellency thought that perhaps we ought to invite them here to be encouraged.
Let's hear it for the boys. The Boys Retreat kicks off on Friday at 8 a.m. at Government House at Mount Fitzwilliam.
This is not a conference, excuse me, where we will just speak and speak and talk and talk and talk. But it will be a conference where young persons will be able to speak to us and tell us what they have on their minds. Some of the nation's most inspiring leaders will address the boys. Some of the topics to be addressed include personal grooming and its importance. How do we present ourselves?
And still to come, Junker Fusion is in the house as Junkanoo alumni is on the way, so stay close.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exuma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is producing work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass it along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
Summer in the Bahamas. The weather is hot, but not as hot as the ZNS summer packages. Get ads on ZNS TV or ZNS Radio Network or the TV community page, or a combination of all three. ZNS has got you covered with great prices, whatever package you choose. Book before June 7th and get the local Federation Championship Baseball bonus full of all kinds of extras free of charge. Contact your account executive or call ZNS Sales at 502-3800 today. Hot summer package rates valid until July 31st.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 95th Terrace, Centerville, and now located in the Lucaya Shopping Center of Freeport, Grand Bahama.
Welcome back. You're looking at a shot of the iconic Queen's Staircase, recently renovated. It's definitely somewhere you should check out if you haven't been in a while. Well, let's leave that and head on down to Eleuthera. Let's go.
The construction industry is growing by leaps and bounds in many of the major islands, so much so that it's also becoming a primary source for Family Island economic growth. As Altavis Munnings tells us in part 2 of her series on the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies public-private partnership, diversification has been added to the mix.
About 50 men are employed by the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies to execute the Eleuthera Road Improvement Project. Add another 10 individuals from its partner, Quick Fix Construction, and that amounts to quite a large work crew. The thing is, more help is always needed, and that's a plus for Eleuthera's labor sector.
If you are interested in working here on Eleuthera, whether it's in construction and whether it's in other fields, there's not a problem for you to find work here on Eleuthera to do.
Quick Fix Construction is no stranger to the construction game. Fast forward 41 years since its doors opened, and General Manager Juan Simonet feels to survive in this industry nowadays, diversification is key.
We're selling concrete from south, in central, and in some cases even in the north, so it's been very good for us. We've worked on most of the major islands in the Bahamas for the Bahamas government, so construction for us is like, it's easy, it's something that we do that we can do in our sleep.
At the end of the day, though, the goal is to provide the 163 miles of Eleuthera with the best roads possible for its residents and visitors.
Eleuthera needs good roads, and that's important, a very important part of infrastructure on these islands. I'm sure when this project is finished, we're going to have not only good Queens Highway, but all of the settlement roads are also going to be fixed also, so that's a plus also.
The Eleuthera Road project is scheduled to be completed by 2028. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Altavice Munnings.
Well, it's that time again. Yes, the second annual Junkifusion Junkanoo Alumni Showdown is this weekend, and Junkifusion chairperson Aldika Colebrook, along with trustee Denari Roll, are here with us tonight to tell us all about that event. Welcome back to Access Now, guys.
Thank you.
So first of all, can you remind everyone what the Junkifusion organization is all about?
Well, Junkifusion is a non-profit organization, and the goal of the program was just initially to get more young people involved in understanding the culture, and then not only that, passing on the legacy of the culture. So ideally, you just want to increase participation throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas to get as much young people in as much schools involved in understanding their culture, being a part of it, and displaying the unique talent that Junkanoo brings to the world.
Amazing. And so can you explain what it means to be Junkanoo alumni? What's that all about?
So each school would have participants who would have either graduated from their former schools and being a part of the Junkanoo program at their school. So that's where we coined the name Junkanoo alumni. So now these persons who would have participated in their schools are now participating in the senior Junkanoo. And so we use this event to help them to give back to their schools, network with the schools, and to help the students who are now interested in being a part of Junior Junkanoo to help them with a little push forward on what exactly Junkanoo is all about.
Amazing. And which schools are set to participate?
Well, this year we have two new entrants, D.W. Davis, which is a junior high school, and I have to big up the principal of D.W. Davis because she is excited. D.W. Davis has not been in Junior Junkanoo for a bit, and so they are now back in the fold with their alumni, and they have been helping them along the way. Jordan Princeville is the only private school that is involved this year, and so we shout them out as well. We're looking forward to see what they have to offer because they are a part of the Junior Junkanoo parades for the past 2-3 years, yeah, or maybe even more. But they've been consistent. They've been consistent. GHS Magics, the outgoing champions. We don't know what's going to happen this year, but they will be returning, as well as C.R. Walker, C.I. Gibson, C.V. Bethel, C.C. Sweeting. And so we have our hands filled this year, so altogether it's about 8 groups.
Amazing. And now, obviously, since we're talking about schools and Junkanoo, can you just explain again the difference for people between this and Junior Junkanoo?
Okay, so the difference is Junior Junkanoo deals with the students per se at the school level. The alumni Junkanoo is those former students who would have graduated from that particular school. This is now their time to show that, hey, we still got this together.
And still proud of their school.
Yes, yes.
I love it. So when is the event and where is it being held?
Okay, so the event is this coming Saturday. on the eastern side of the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. Doors open at 4 p.m. with the parade start time at 5 p.m. So you're going to be prompt, being like Big Jungle. You're going to be on time. You're going to hit the road running.
And is this free? Is it a ticketed event? What do people need to know before they come?
So right now, tickets are on sale. You could get them at Las Plumas, that's the Jungle shop. They are $20 prior to the event, $25 at the gate. And I think for kids under 12, it's a $10 fee, yes. $10 for kids under 12.
But the tickets are also located in all of the participating schools as well. So persons can get them at the participating schools.
You can pick them up at any school, yeah.
Amazing. Well, Aldika and Denari, all the best. Thank you so much for coming to join us tonight. All the best with your Junkanoo Fusion Alumni Showdown. We hope to see you back in here again soon. As for us, let's check in with ZNS Total Sports to see what's the latest.
Buddy Buckets with another big performance in a Warriors win. Details of that story and more coming up in sports.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep you connected and easily send important updates, event reminders, and emergency alerts. Keep your campus informed and connected with bulk SMS messaging from a live business. The right choice for fast, reliable communication. For more information, contact the experts.
Come and visit us at Shop Smart, 'cause everything is here.
Yes, we have it all for you. Toys, clothing, office supplies, appliances, custom cut blinds, bedding, drapes, and rugs. Come and visit us on Mackey Street, 2 blocks down from Wolf Road. Call us at 698-1052.
Shop Smart, Shop Smart, at Shop Smart. Oh, everything is here.
Celebrate the incredible women in your life this Mother's Day. And don't forget the special offer from Cornet Bahamas. From April 16th to May 16th, enjoy a fantastic 35% off store-wide. That's right, everything you need to show your love and appreciation is on sale. Whether it's a heartfelt gift for mom, a treat for yourself, or something special for that amazing woman in your life, we've got you covered. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Visit any one of our stores today. Make this Mother's Day unforgettable with Cornet Bahamas.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation? You mean the Ministry of Tourism? No, that ain't the same thing, but the Tourism Development Corporation helps develop and grow behemoth businesses in the tourism industry. You hear what they say, boy? Oh, yeah. Develop and grow. You don't know what all the things they do? What does do?
Hey, check the website, boy. Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
Welcome to What's Trending. Join me, Jiminita Swain.
And me, The Bahama Beauty, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m.
Only on the ZNS Network.
Congratulations to the Bahamian Carifta track and field and swim teams from the sponsors of the ZNS Radio and TV Carifta Update.
Welcome to your Tuesday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports. Buddy Hield and the Golden State Warriors won a thriller in San Francisco on Monday night over the Houston Rockets to take a 3-1 lead in their first-round playoff series. The Dubs would prevail with a 109-106 victory. For Buddy Buckets, he would have another solid performance in his first career playoff start. He would pour in 15 points in this one, going 3 of 9 from behind the arc. Would finish the game with a rating of +17 in his 30 minutes of play. But while Buddy is known for his sharp shooting, last night was about his defensive efforts, and giving him praise for his play on that end would be Warriors head coach Steve Kerr.
I'm going to utter some words that have never been spoken before by anybody on earth. Buddy Hield, you set the tone defensively. going to say it again, though, before the end of the playoffs. Yeah. But you can guard, and you did that tonight. Hell of a job. We know there's a lot of work left, but it's right where we want to be because you guys are competing. One turnover in the second half. That's the whole key. Right? We just had that one stretch in the second quarter. It gave them life, but if we can take care of the ball throughout the game, just keep getting shots on goal, and we're going to figure some things out, too, based on, we know they're going to play Adams and Shengun a lot next game. We got the tape. We'll figure some things out about how to handle that, but hell of a job.
Switching gears in track and field news for just the second time in the event's short history, the Bombers will not field a team for the World Athletics World Relays, the 2025 installment of the event set to take place in Guangzhou, China next month. We spoke with B3A's president, Jamaica Archer, who gave us this explanation.
Relays is always a Bahamian delight. Unfortunately, the Bahamas will not be participating in the upcoming World Relays that will be taking place in 2025. And it's really because, we simply didn't have access to the talent pool that we have offshore. Many of our athletes that would have been named to the team are still, they still have collegiate commitments. We are learning that there are some who are on the injury list. And then there are some who are still pending immigration review and approval for visas. So when you look at the full circumstances, we realize that we simply wouldn't have a competitive team sufficient enough to compete at that level. And so we'll wait for the World Championships and any event that leads up to it to see if we can qualify our relay teams. And we're positive that Team Bahamas will have a strong showing in Tokyo this year, but we will not be contesting a team at the World Relays this year.
And the Carifta track and swimming team set to visit the House of Assembly tomorrow morning after their stellar performances in Trinidad and Tobago this past Easter weekend. Of course, the track team finishing with 37 total medals, including 60 in gold, the second most for the Bahamas in the history of the Games. Of course, Bahamas Aquatics winning an unprecedented 7th straight Carifta swimming title. The public is encouraged to come out and support the athletes while wearing the colors of the flag. So look at your sports on this Tuesday. A check on weather when we return.
Congratulations to the Bahamian Carifta track and field and swim teams from the sponsors of the ZNS Radio and TV Carifta Update.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
Join us on Social Mania, a new and dynamic game show based on the Ministry of Education's primary and junior high school social studies curriculum. Students from schools across the Bahamas go head-to-head as their knowledge of social studies is challenged. In this episode, Gambier Primary battles with Sadie Curtis Primary School. Which school will emerge as winner? To find out, join us as these two schools engage in intense competition. Don't miss it.
This one? No. Hey, look, KFC has an incredible promo.
I already had that for lunch.
quench your hunger cravings and satisfy the whole family with KFC bucket meals starting at just $20. Get freshly prepared golden fried chicken, buttery biscuits, and add your favorite large size. Bucket meals starting at just $20. KFC, finger licking good.
Fuel the difference. Ruby's Ultra Tech in your car. Fill up with Ruby's Ultra Tech. Spend less and go far. Fuel up with Ruby's Ultra Tech. Get the most out every ride. Just watch your car perform with the best fuel inside. Fuel up with confidence in every mile. Get Ruby's Ultra Tech in your tank and drive with a smile. Watch your car perform with the best fuel inside. Fuel the difference with Ruby's Ultra Tech.
Welcome back. It's time to turn things over to Matea Cunningham and Let's Talk Socials.
Hi everyone, it's your favorite social media professor here, and class is officially in session. Speaking of class, today's feature comes straight out of an R.M. Bailey music teacher's classroom. Music teacher Brene Clark shared a TikTok of her and her students dancing, but with a twist, during a teacher-student swap day. For my Outer Island folk who don't know, R.M. Bailey Senior High School, named after Bahamian politician Reverend Dr. Robert M. Bailey, has been shaping young minds in the Bahamas for decades, and it was once known for its candy cane striped uniform, now revamped to a red plaid. Now, back to the clip. During the swap day, Miss Clark and her students switched outfits, and let's just say, at first glance, you couldn't tell who the teacher was. Miss Clark truly pulled off the student look. Check this out. As summer quickly approaches, high school seniors all over are participating in trends like this, creating fun memories with their favorite teachers before they move on to the next chapter of their lives. Were you able to spot Miss Clark with ease? And when you did, could you even guess she was a teacher? Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Matea, and this has been Let's Talk Socials. See you next time.
Well, that does it for Access Now for tonight. Make sure to join us again tomorrow night at 7:30.
Stay tuned for the rundown with Clint Watson. His guests for this evening are Comptroller of Inland Revenue, Shonda Strawn, and Acting Director of Public Health, Dr. Philip Swan.
Good night, everybody.
At Harold One, I'm Ted Jervis, and this is ZNS.
The Rundown is brought to you by Commonwealth Brewery Limited.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show. It's great to have you with us tonight. Well, mental health challenges still plaguing the capital as police investigate another apparent alleged suicide, this time in Sandyport, Western New Providence. Police say a concerned citizen requested a welfare check of their neighbor while searching the residence. Now, officers found the 47-year-old victim hanging in a bathroom. The matter has been handed over to His Majesty's coroner. And as the country grapples with reports of yet another suicide and what appears to be a disturbing trend, in the last few months, there have been reports of several suicides and attempts by persons at taking their own lives. This trend disturbs the government as well, and Health Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville recently addressed what's being done and what, from a standpoint of policy, can address this potential epidemic.
We have addressed that time and time again. We have a new mental health bill. We're implementing that particular bill in stages. We have now partnered with the Psychological Association of the Bahamas to assist us because we have a shortage of psychologists, and so in the interim we intend to ensure that we utilize them.
Well, today, commemoration of the 60th anniversary of Black Tuesday will undoubtedly hold particular meaning for the students who took part in the day's reenactment exercise. In this spectacular reenactment of that seminal day in our nation's history, Dylan Evans, a 12th grader at Aquinas College, and QC 10th grader Grayson Roberts took center stage in their leading roles in a scene from Black Tuesday 1965. This exchange between then leader of the minority party, the Progressive Liberal Party, a young Lyndon Pinling, and then Speaker of the House, Robert Simonet of the United Bahamian Party.
It gave me an opportunity to showcase what our former leaders did for us, and it gave me an opportunity to reenact one of the more major players of our history, Sir Lyndon Pinling, the father of our nation. So,
as the Speaker of the House, you know, that's the person who's in charge and making sure everyone's in order in the House, you know, and of course on Black Tuesday, order wasn't exactly there, so it was really cool, I guess I could say, to reenact that scene. And
pretty exciting day for them, definitely. But if you're among the country's many business owners, then tonight's show is just for you. The head of the Department of Inland Revenue is on the show tonight, and she'll discuss business licenses, real property tax, among other things that you try to avoid paying, but you can't get away because they're going to make sure crack down on you. Take it from me. These are all items vital to doing business here in the Bahamas, and they ain't giving nobody no break. And then we'll tell you all about SIP Plus. Of course, it's an essential tool for improving maternal and child health outcomes. It comes right on the time as the Bahamas prioritizes health care for mothers and their children. Acting Public Health Director Dr. Philip Swan is here to provide us with those details. So we have another great show coming up for you. It all begins right here on the ZNS Network right after the break. The Rundown. We're back after this. Stay close.
At Frame Studio, as soon as you enter the door, we showcase any individual that comes in there and make it feel like they are at home. The space itself is 1,800 square foot. Our psych wall, which is industry standard also, is 24 feet wide. You can do anything that you can possibly think of. At Frame Studio, under our theme, Now Create More, we look at Frame Studio as a canvas. And any artist knows a canvas is blank, and then you create whatever you want to do, right? So we have where you could rent tools. We even have workstations that people could rent out. To anyone inspiring to do what I've done, or what my colleagues have done, or any other journey, I would say to you, don't be afraid. The worst someone can actually tell you is no. So if you have a vision, you have an idea, not everyone will get it. But if you believe in your vision, you believe in your idea, I say go wholeheartedly at it.
For more information about the Creative Entrepreneurs Initiative and the Crafting the Bahamas workshops, email info@sbdcbahamas.com or call us at 461-7232.
If you've got termites and need to get rid of them fast, trust Rentokil Initial. With over 60 years experience in the Bahamas, the global brand, training, and expertise can't be beat. Only Rentokil Initial gives you a 3-year warranty and payment plan options on termite fumigation. No one can match the range of treatments we offer, such as fumigation, pre-construction treatments, termite monitoring, and more. No matter where you are in the Bahamas, we will come to you. When it comes to complete termite eradication, there's only one name, Rentokil Initial.
Is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
Welcome back to The Rundown. A special good evening to all of you right on the line. Zen, I see you all online. And of course, those of you watching by YouTube, whether it's in Turks and Caicos Islands, around the Caribbean, or here at home, or internationally, whatever platforms you're watching on, it's always great to have you join us tonight. Well, the Department of Inland Revenue is an amalgamation of a number of the country's primary tax and revenue agencies, namely business license, real property tax, value-added tax, first homers exemption. The goal is to increase efficiency for the assessment, collection, and overall tax and revenue administration for the Bahamas. The Acting Controller of Inland Revenue, Shonda Strawn, joins us tonight to give us an update on the department's operations. And of course, all those questions that you've been asking and wanted to get answers to, we're going to get them for you tonight. Controller, welcome to the show. It's good to have you with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
All right, so listen, this is a place where you collect the money. It used to be customs, but now you guys have taken over as the country's main revenue collector. And obviously, we've been seeing the success in really bringing the service not only together, but organizing it and the ability to collect what is due to the government. That's how we're able to do what we're able to do in various agencies. So let's start off, first of all, asking how has the new value-added tax rate impacted food stores? How have you seen, is that going to impact your bottom line, obviously? What have you seen since it's been introduced?
So I guess what we have seen is, of course, you'll have increased shopping, right? Because you have less VAT to pay at the food stores. But really, we haven't seen the effects of it as yet.
Right.
We do expect that we will see a slight decrease in the amount of VAT collected. But of course, if we shore up in other areas, like collections of arrears, then we'll be fine. We shouldn't experience too much of a deficiency in the area of value-added tax.
How have you been doing with collecting on arrears? Because obviously that was a big amount, right? Do we still have a number of value on what it was and what it may be now?
We're still in that 800 million
outstanding.
Outstanding.
800 million.
The majority of it is, of course, real property tax, right? And so real property tax has the highest level of arrears, but it also has the greatest amount of cleanups that need to happen, right?
Wow.
And so we have quite a bit outstanding in real property tax, but we're also seeing some arrears in the value-added tax side of things, and we're very concerned about that because, of course, we see that as our taxpayers collecting the government's money,
but not turning it over
and holding it.
Oh, Lord.
So it's kind of like you're giving yourself a loan that wasn't approved.
Because that money don't belong to you.
Right. So a taxpayer, you and me and the guys out there, they would have given that money to you to hold for the government. So they paid the money to the business person, and it's the business person's responsibility to turn it over to the Department of Inland Revenue for the government.
When you don't do that, what are the consequences?
Well, they're steep, right? I always tell people that is the hardest of the legislations, right? Out of business license, real property tax, and value-added tax. Value-added tax really puts a grip on you if you don't comply with the legislation. So our hands are tied because, again, it is not money that you're paying or that your business is paying. It's money that was already given to you by another taxpayer to give to the government. And so when you don't turn it over, then you could expect that the consequences will be great, right? So for us, compliance initiatives are always ongoing. You have things like garnishing bank accounts, and nobody likes that, right? So if you're a business person, you may be a professional, you may be an attorney or an architect or an accountant, and imagine you go into the bank and your account is technically frozen.
So you have the power to have the bank freeze an account if you recognize they've not turned over
Well,
VAT.
it's not so much freezing the account. What we're really giving the bank instructions is to send us the funds that it is in that account.
They can do that?
Really, they can do that. The law allows for that. So if you owe value-added tax, really, we can section the bank. We call it sectioning the bank, but we can deem the bank to be an agent to send us the funds that you have forgotten to send to us.
Have they done that?
Really? Yes, of course. We've done that many times, on many occasions.
And what happens? The owner comes in angry?
Normally you would find that the taxpayer would come in. I wouldn't say angry. Most of them realize that for us it is a very extreme resort, right? A last resort for us. We don't take it lightly, and it's not something that we enjoy doing, of course. But if we get to that point, it means that we've tried already to contact you, to plead with you, to set up payment arrangements with you. And normally it's because the taxpayer is non-responsive, meaning they haven't tried anything. And that's normally when we get to that point.
Do you believe there are a whole lot more businesses out there that are holding on to VAT than you're able to detect? Because you're going based on what a business honestly reports to you.
Yes, right, because it's self-assessing, right? All of our taxes really is, we depend on the taxpayer to be truthful.
Correct.
And to declare what it is that they would have made. So as it relates to value-added tax, sure, we know that there are businesses out there. We have those ones that we frequent. They may not look like what we call big businesses. But you have businesses along the beach side or other areas where you look at them and you wouldn't think that they should be VAT registrants. You have some of them that just didn't register. And you have some businesses that did register, but simply don't turn over the value-added tax to the government. And that's, you know, that's a concern. And so what you see right now, you do have a lot of businesses coming in complaining because we've issued assessments. So we're doing audits, desk audits, field audits. We do things now where we check we call it sister agencies, right? So we see what the Treasury has paid. We may look and see what National Insurance has paid. So you may be telling us you only earn, you may be, let's say you're a contractor, and you're saying to us, well, you know, I earned less than $100,000. But yet we see where the Treasury has paid you $200,000, and we see where the hospital has paid you.
Wow.
And so we have now the ability, we have developed systems where we do analysis, computerized analysis to make it easier for us, meaning manpower-wise.
I was just about to say.
Right, because it really does require a great amount of staff, right? And we don't necessarily have the amount of staff that we need. So we have relied more and more on computer systems to help us with an analytics. And from that, we are able to tell a lot. So people do see assessments going on their account. And we would issue the assessment. We would say to the taxpayer, we think you said you made this, but we really think you made that. So tell us if we're right or justify why we're wrong. And so we give the taxpayer an opportunity to come into us. Again, sadly, what we see, taxpayers don't like to respond. They wait until, like, the debt has been crystallized on their account before coming into us. And by that time, sometimes it's a bit late.
Wow.
Right?
VAT still remains the largest amount of revenue for the country?
VAT still remains the largest amount. The Department of Inland Revenue has a forecast expected revenue collections of about $1.6 billion this year.
In VAT?
In total revenue.
Total revenue.
And out of that 1.6, about $1 billion of that will be from value-added tax.
Wow. So this is obviously a tax that the government depends on to be able to do its business.
Tremendously. It's a very important tax. And so, you know, again, we're doing a service really to the Bahamian people, for the Bahamian people on their behalf, because it's money they would have paid. And so we do ask persons, you go into an establishment and you notice you don't see a VAT registration certificate up, but you notice they're collecting value-added tax. Be nosy and ask the question, hey, are you registered for VAT? I notice you have VAT on my receipt. So I do think that more and more Bahamians need to be cognizant of the fact that, you know, they're paying taxes. They want to ensure that those taxes get into the public.
Are there businesses that charge VAT? Well, you already said that, but they charge VAT, but don't necessarily turn it over. In other words, they're not registered, but they're charging VAT on the items, which means they're getting extra money going into their kitty on a good.
That's what's happening. So that is what's happening. So really that is just stealing from you and me and from the government at large, right? Because it's money that is not intended for the business. It's not a part of your capital.
Right.
But we do see businesses using the value-added tax as a part of their capital.
Can customers report this and you investigate it?
Of course. We do have hotlines at the department. We do have businesses, well, I should say taxpayers, that give us really good tips, and we appreciate those.
Let's talk about, you talked about it before, the real property tax, and that's probably the largest debt that you're seeing outstanding right now. Is that local or foreign? Because we understand that at one point in time, there were a lot of second home owners that were not paying real property tax.
Right, so it's a bit of both, right? It is local, but it's also foreign homeowners. And I think for us, we have also beefed up initiatives in that area collection. So we have now issued our foreign tax bills from the United States. So we didn't go the route of issuing tax bills from New Providence this time around. We sent those tax bills to the U.S., had those issued from the U.S., and we are seeing more feedback from those bills, because a lot of times the foreigners would say, well, I didn't receive a tax bill. Even Bahamians say that. Bahamians would come to you and say, well, I didn't pay my real property tax because I didn't get a tax bill, but aha. The legislation says that it's the responsibility of the property owner, right? And so if you are a property owner, that owning property comes with some degree of responsibility. If you own a business, that comes with a degree of responsibility. Yeah. And so we say every year, without fail, the Department of Inland Revenue publishes a notice of assessment in the newspapers. Once that notice is published, every property owner is deemed served. And so what is important, if you own a property, you should be looking to pay a tax bill. Now, there are exemptions, right? And so if it's an owner-occupied property under $300,000, then you know you're in the clear. But I always tell people, still look for that zero tax bill. If you own a property, you want a tax bill, even if that tax bill is zero, right? So as long as you own a property, look for a tax bill, even if the tax bill is zero. And if you own commercial property or residential property, meaning property that you rent out for someone else to live in, or maybe you don't rent it out. Maybe you have a family member staying there. But if it's property that you own but you don't live in, then it's automatic that that property is going to have a tax bill.
Really?
Really.
So what about persons who may, of course, their homes may be more than $300,000? How is that rated?
So if you own a home that you reside in, the trick is you have to live there, right?
Not Airbnbs.
No, not the Airbnbs. So if you own a property, you live in that property, then you're entitled to a $300,000 exemption on the value, which means any value over the $300,000 is what you're paying taxes on, right? And again, honestly, we have about 100,000 properties registered on the tax roll, but I would say less than 20,000 of those really pay a tax amount that's over, say, $500, right? The majority of Bahamians are exempted. Their homes are exempted. If their homes are under the $300,000, then, you know, they don't pay any taxes.
I want to go back to the point you made I thought was significant. You said that particularly for the foreign homeowners, you send their bill through the U.S.
Well, we tried it this year. So we send bills by emails, but the challenge there is we don't always have the addresses of the property owner. A big problem with properties in the Bahamas on the whole is when it changes hands, the property owners don't declare that change. So you have cases where a property would have been sold from one owner to the other owner, but nothing came to the Department of Inland Revenue, and we can't locate the current owner. And so we've tried sending the bills by the mail, but we've engaged also private collectors to help us. Now, that's a challenge, because if we engage a private collector to collect your real property tax, then the cost of that is passed on to the property owner.
Really?
Really. Right? So that's significant, because at the end of the day, if you're not coming in to pay your taxes and we are having a challenge in finding you or getting you to come in, and we may decide to outsource your account to a private collector, then the cost of that will also be passed on to you through your tax bill.
All right, we're learning a lot, some very interesting things here tonight regarding taxes. We're going to talk more about it. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get more into this so that you know exactly what your obligation is and what you ought to be looking out for. You're watching The Rundown. We're back right after this. Stay close.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this
bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Stripe and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
Summer in the Bahamas. The weather is hot, but not as hot as the ZNS summer packages. Get ads on ZNS TV or ZNS Radio Network or the TV community page, or a combination of all three. ZNS has got you covered with great prices, whatever package you choose. Book before June 7th and get the local Federation Championship Baseball bonus full of all kinds of extras free of charge. Contact your account executive or call ZNS Sales at 502-3800 today. Hot summer package rates valid until July 31st.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
Covering the news seems easy, but we put thought into what we're doing. The Bahamas Tonight Access Now, here to inform, educate, and entertain. A new type of newscast featuring social media trends, news from around the islands, interviews with the people you like in our communities, sports, weather, and fabulous entertainment. That's a Bahamas Tonight Access Now with Marlena Leonard and LaDon Davis. 7:30, Monday to Friday. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back to the Rundown. My guest tonight is the controller for the Department of Inland Revenue, Shonda Strong, talking about all of the things, taxes, things that you have to pay, making sure you have clarity and understanding what your responsibilities are. At the end of the day, the money collected by government should go to benefit you and give you improved services in the country. We were talking a lot about real property tax, but I want to also talk a bit about business licenses, because a lot of Bahamians have businesses, and obviously, how is that working? Have Bahamian businesses been compliant with updating business licenses?
Again, a challenge. If you own a business, you are obligated to declare that turnover, the turnover that you made. And turnover is not your net profit, despite what businesses think. It is any amount of revenue that passed through the business before any deductions. So it's really your gross revenue.
Right.
So taxes are paid on your gross revenue. Again, there is an exemption. So everything up to $100,000 is free, right? All we ask is that you declare, but the tax bill will be zero if your turnover is under $100,000. Again, we have about, I would say about 100,000 businesses that could possibly be on the tax roll. Some of them are, of course, inactive, but persons don't normally come in to declare that their businesses have ceased. So another problem, right? But by and large, so far for the year, we've had about 40,000 business licenses issued. So we still have quite a bit to go. Last year, by the end of last year, we had issued about 50,000 business licenses. So we expect that we should see at least another 10 to 15,000 businesses coming in to renew their licenses.
If you are under the 100,000 threshold, what do you pay? Just a regular fee?
Under the $100,000, you don't pay anything. You just get your business license without...
It's free?
It's free. It's free. It's free.
So there's been no reason why people don't do it if you're under that threshold. It doesn't cost you anything.
No, it doesn't cost you anything. So we do encourage, especially home businesses. We have a lot of persons that may do makeup, or they may do just designs or something from home. So we encourage them to get a business license, because chances are those business licenses will be free to them.
How important is record keeping?
It is the major thing that if I were to give any advice to business persons, I would say your record keeping is paramount, right? Even if you're keeping it in a black and white book, back in the day, the Milo Butler books.
That's the books.
But the thing is, you have to keep records, because at any time we can come in and audit your business. And if you don't have the records, then it means that we have to formulate what it is that you've made, and you don't want that. Right? We do use methods like we would look at your suppliers, we will go to your wholesalers, who you're purchasing from, we may look at your customs import records, but at the end of the day, it's always best for business to keep a record of their income, a record of their expenses, and receipts to prove what it is that they would have expended.
I guess I think what's important for people to understand when it comes to businesses is, of course, it's not a deterrent for you to operate. People keep on thinking, oh, they're trying to take everything I have. I can't survive if you're trying to do this. It really is not designed to do that.
No, and you look at it another way, because if we have proper statistics and we know how many businesses are in a particular sector, then we know what incentives to give. Like, I don't know, recently you would have heard that the government gave an incentive for persons to go out and establish Airbnbs.
Correct.
Right? Which was really good. So that's an area that's not taxed at all for Bahamians. And again, if we know which businesses are in what sector, then we can do more to assist the sector with improving on the businesses in that area.
I want to go back to real property tax, because people hear the terms power of sale when it comes to real property tax. What is that?
Again, power of sale is an enforcement mechanism that the Department of Inland Revenue has. It's under Section 25 of the Real Property Tax Act. But again, it wasn't something that we did prior to this year. This year, we've had, well, I should say the end of last year was our first sale under power of sale. And again, it is basically for properties where the property owners are significantly delinquent in paying their taxes, and we would have gone through a number of measures to try to get them to become compliant with no real success.
Wow.
So again, it is something that is serious. We have probably about 24 sales pending now. But it's something that I think property owners need to take seriously. Once we advertise a property on the property power sale list, the owner still has about 30 days to come forward and try to pay those taxes.
So you have a long way to exhaust before you can say, oh, they take my stuff.
You have a long way to go. We try to work with persons as best we can. We offer payment plans, and we do all kinds of things. There's the waiver of surcharge, which is a big help to all property owners. So if you are delinquent, I mean, I encourage you to come in before we come out to try to get you to come in. Come to us. If you're able to come up with a payment plan that's within a reasonable time, really under 5 years, we can work with you to do some things. But again, if you take too long to come, then it ties our hands as to what we could do to assist.
How have you digitalize what it is that you do so that Bahamians really don't need to come to you unless there's an absolute need to? People say can sit online and just offer their services. Are you there yet? I know you're one of the leading agencies that actually introduced e-government. So where are you with that?
So the Department of Inland Revenue is, I guess, one of the furthest along in terms of digitalizing and automating its services. All of our services are available online. All of them. So you really can only pay, real property tax at our office. Everything else has to be paid online or at a financial institution. But you can't apply via paper anymore for anything other than real property. So real property tax is the oldest tax. It's also the one that is taking us the longest to get automated and cleaned up and caught up. right? But by and large, we are going to be very proudly rolling out a whole new tax system later on in the year.
Wow.
And so by the end of the year, the Bahamians will be introduced to Tax 3.0, and we're looking forward to that because it will be a window that has, you will be able to see all your taxes in one window.
Really?
And it will be very seamless and effortless for you to do what it is you need to do. So even though we are digitalized, we do get a lot of complaints with business owners or property owners. They go on our portal and sometimes it's down, and so all of those things are what we're trying to improve, and so Bahamians will see newer and better coming towards the end of the year.
Are Bahamians taking advantage of the first homeowners exemption?
They are, and it has benefited quite a number of Bahamians, I'm proud to say. Last year, 2024, we had about 500 successful applicants. We issued about 500 exemptions, and that totaled about $3 million in savings to the Bahamian people.
Wow.
So far for the year, I think we have had about just under 100, like about 94 applications that have come in. And so the savings so far is about $600,000. But it is something that Bahamians are taking advantage of. If you are purchasing a home and the value is under $300,000, you pay no VAT on the property transfer at all. So we call it free. The stamping of your conveyance is free. And then as you go up in value, the rates are a bit lower. So persons are used to paying 10%, but you have a sliding rate scale. So depending on if your property value is, let's say, $400,000, you may pay 4% as opposed to what persons were accustomed to paying back in the day, or you pay 6% depending on what the value is. So persons are taking advantage. I think we did catch quite a beating in the papers the other day. There was a complaint about first home exemption on construction. And that is proving a challenge because in order to get your refund, we ask that the property owner, first of all, register for value-added tax because it's a value-added tax refund that we're giving. And so persons find it a bit challenging, but that's because they're not necessarily qualifying to get the exemption. So in order for you to get it, you have to be a VAT registrant, so you have to come in and register prior to construction, and of course you have to have receipts. So we can't refund you. If
so if you're building a house for the first time, you get a refund?
You can apply for a first-time homeowners exemption on construction.
Well, hold on now.
Right? But again, you need to come in and register, right? Register so you get your tax identification number, and every bit of your construction, your receipts should have your tax identification number on it. So when you come to us to claim your refund, we can see your receipts. We're able to go through and see what it is that you spent.
And what are you refunding back?
And we refund, I think, up to $40,000 back in value-added tax paid. So what we're doing is refunding value-added tax paid on home construction so that you come out in the same position as if you had purchased your home for the first time.
Lord, I wish I had known this before now. I didn't even know this was available.
It is available.
See what happens when you don't know? So you can get a refund if you build your house for the first time.
For the first time.
And if once you've registered at the beginning of the process.
So what you need to do is apply ahead of time. So if you've purchased a piece of property and you're ready to go and build, you may have your mortgage or you may have your... Or you may be building out of your pocket. You may have been a good saver and kept that ASU drawer and you're ready to build out of your pocket. What you need to do is come and register, get your tax identification number. The construction has to be completed within 18 months of registration. But what's key is saving your receipts and ensuring that the receipts from the construction has your tax identification number on it.
Now people are asking, I hear them in my ear from the control room asking, they're saying when this started.
More than 3 years ago.
3 years ago?
Yeah.
Now, here's my question. Why aren't the bank telling people this when they get their mortgage? Because I can tell you, I built my home and the bank never told me that if you go and register, then doing this whole process that you're going to be building your house, you can get this exemption back from it.
But really, we see more persons coming in for the first homeowners exemption if they're purchasing straight out. And for whatever reason, we don't see that many persons coming in.
That's why, because people don't know. Because people and the banks aren't telling you when they give you that mortgage. They're not telling you you can get a refund on your VAT. You can get a refund
of the value-added tax paid.
That's unbelievable.
And again, all it calls for is for you following the steps
of registering.
Of time.
Well, that's why I feel the bank should tell you, because they're the ones who obviously setting you up for your mortgage. And so before you begin the construction, they can say, listen, this is a way to get some money back. I just think if the bank can tell you you got to pay it to you, and when you guys send out the invoices saying real property taxes due, the banks are the first ones to call you and tell you go pay that. So if they can, because I got my call, from the bank. They said it's due. You need to go ahead and make sure it's paid.
Very good bank.
So why they didn't call me and tell me I could get exemption?
I have no idea. They may not know. So we will do more education on it.
That's a great initiative, though, because I think for so many people who are afraid to bill or think it's going to be so expensive, if they know that they can register and be able to get some money back from
you also have a real property tax first-time homeowners exemption that persons don't often apply for. So if you have your first home again, you can apply for the real property tax in 5 years. If your home is under $500,000, for the first 5 years, you won't pay any real property tax.
So what now? Let me get it again, because... Okay.
So you have a first-time homeowners exemption for value-added tax. Stamping of
That's a value-added tax.
Right? But you also have a first-time homeowners exemption for real property tax. So if it's your first home, the first 5 years, you're exempted from paying real property tax. Well, you're automatically exempted if the value is under 3. But if it's over 300,000, then you get a first-time homeowners.
And if you didn't get it, can you go back and say I didn't get it?
If it's within the time.
Within the 5-year period?
From when? Yeah, from...
This is beginning to look like a great day.
So the Department of Inland Revenue is not only about taking from you. We do try to give back as well.
I'm about to throw that new housewarming party I was trying to afford to pay for. Oh, my goodness. Am I out of time? Oh, Lord have mercy. And listen, this has been so informative. That's why we got to have you every quarter, because we got to remind people about what's available to them, because sometimes people think it's just a take thing, not understanding that there are benefits that are being set up.
Right, there are benefits. Seniors discounts.
Yes.
And you know, there are...
Seniors discount, you just said.
Right.
See, I bet some of y'all don't even know there's seniors discounts. Right. So you have to know. Where can people find out about your services and what you're offering?
Online. Our online portal, inlandrevenue.finance.gov.bs, is full of information, and so I always recommend persons go there first.
Let's read Bahamas.
Yeah, it's there. You just have to read.
Controller Sandra Strawn, it's always a privilege and pleasure talking to you, educate our people. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And stay with us. When we come back, we're going to turn to the healthcare sector and talk about some new systems that are going to help you if you're a mother or ready to give birth, or a woman who's pregnant or thinking about getting pregnant or thinking about having that baby, and some other things about medical records. We're going to tell you all about it. So listen up, Makushla and the rest of you guys. This is going to be a great segment for you. We're back after this. Stay close.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exuma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass that along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
We're coming for y'all again.
Are you ready for the hottest sports show on the market? It's called The Timeout, Sundays on the ZNS television network. In our first show, 4 decades of sports in the country.
I have been coming to this island since I was 12 years old. It didn't take me long to realize the rich history it has here. When I bought this island in 2018, I fulfilled a lifelong dream. The goal is not only to preserve the memories I made over those years, but to make new ones. and to give others the opportunity to do the same. As we go through this process, it has become clear to me, we aren't just rebuilding an island, we're reviving a legend.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
Hey, Dale, what's going on?
Have you seen ZNS new digital platforms?
No. Let me go check it out.
Good day, Bahamas. I'm Devontae Hanna, and this is ZNS Digital,
where we cater to your news and entertainment needs. Are you a foodie? I thought so. Then look out for Digital Bites.
Shining a light on Bahamians and the good that they do, ZNS Digital is home to the Sunshine Room.
Keeping up with the latest trends, our original content will keep you entertained.
Yeah, that's cool.
But have you seen the new website?
No, I didn't see it. Let me go look.
We're still your most trusted source for news and information.
That's ZNS Digital?
Yeah, that's ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
Planning the execution of a newscast is serious business. From the assignment to the concept of the story, everything has to be precise, on point, always. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, is your trusted news service. We get it right the first time. Our preparation for you each night is done with care, knowing that our voices will reach you on 700 islands and keys with unquestionable accuracy. It gives me great pleasure each night to say,
welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. I'm your national anchor, Makush Lapinder.
Welcome back to the show. In this final segment tonight, we're talking about SIP Plus. It's the latest version of the perinatal information system developed, planned by the, of course, American Health Organization. It empowers healthcare professionals to deliver high-quality, data-driven care for pregnant women and newborns, and facilitates the ability to analyze data from clinical modules, allowing for the automatic generation, that is, of reports on demographic indicators, disease burden, interventions, and results. Now, the Ministry of Health and Wellness has spearheaded training sessions that will be used to capture perinatal records in a digital format. Acting Director of the Department of Public Health, Dr. Philip Swan, is on the show tonight to talk about SIP Plus and other issues impacting public health today. Dr. Swan, it's good to have you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So let's start right there. I know a lot of people heard me read that and they're probably like, what? I don't even understand it. So let's allow you to break it down for us. What is SIP Plus and how does it fit in the broader vision of what you call the IS4H Bahamas?
So I guess we start with IS4H.
Yes.
So IS4H is the acronym for Information Systems for Health. It is an initiative that was initiated by the Pan American Health Organization to help countries in the region to advance and have a standard of how to get their health information systems, the digitization process, to a point where they can be compared across countries and therefore resources aligned to make sure everybody's at the same level. SIP Plus actually predates IS4H. SIP is a perinatal information system. It's a Spanish acronym and has been used now for at least 20 to 30 years in country. So everyone that would have been in touch, aligned with a pregnant woman would be familiar with the yellow card that they walk around with. That's the SIP card. So this process is now digitizing that process so that now there's no need for the female to walk with this card. The importance of that card was that it captured pertinent health information related to the pregnancy, related to the woman herself, so that if she encounters any problems during the pregnancy, that information is at the ready for the physician to make any decision or midwife to make any decision that is necessary, whether it be getting them to emergency care or this is something that's been going on for a while, so it's no emergency. What the SIP Plus is now is a digitized system, so it's available via the World Wide Web, but it's also something that is, of course, controlled with cybersecurity measures to ensure that physicians, when they see the patient, they can put this information in the system so that whenever this patient now appears for healthcare at facilities that have access to the system, they're able to see what's happening with this woman. She has the card on her most times, but sometimes she might dash out to the food store, dash out to the hairdresser, just go to a relative and forget the card, and something happens. She turns up to the emergency room, or she turns up to the antenatal, or sorry, the labor ward, and there's no information in the system for her. So, you know, that slows down the time in which you have to get the type of help that she needs. With the digitized process, she would have that information in the health system, as well as there is an app on her phone that she can also have some of this information, but we're finalizing that actual app in the country so that she'd have that information on her phone at the same time.
I'm listening to you talk about this, and I'm thinking, this is wonderful, this is great, but then the question follows, why we didn't have this before? Why are we just getting this now? I would think in the age of modern technology and advancement with information technology that we would have this on the system. Why did it take so long?
So this is a PAHO system, that's the first step. So they would have finalized the system maybe 2 or 3 years ago, probably even earlier than that. But we have to have the capacity in country, the networking, the servers, so that we can be able to share that information or have a server that has that information. Then we have to train the staff, and they have to be, of course, they have to adapt the process and then use it in the way that it needs to be used, which means the data has to be complete once it's in the system. And that has always been a challenge for us, even in paper documentation. So we're working through the targeted population, target healthcare workers, to ensure that they understand the importance of completing this form appropriately and completely, so that the data is available for analysis, data for treatment as we move forward.
Is this data available only throughout the public healthcare system, or is it also with private care?
So right now, the system actually is used in public and private sectors. And again, because it's paper-based, the information is not readily available. There are only about 3 or 4 places where you deliver, and those places would have those information in the patient's individual records. So for analysis purposes, reporting purposes, we need to have that information to give accurate reports as to where we are in the care and the safety of pregnancies in the Bahamas.
Let's talk about Bahamas EMR Plus. What is that?
So the Bahamas EMR Plus, rather, is an electronic medical record system that our team of ICT professionals who are part of the IS Storage Plan, or team, would have developed from Open EMR. And it basically is something that's customized to the Bahamian context. So it captures all the information that we needed to capture in order for us in the Bahamas to have the data that we need.
You call this a game changer in healthcare delivery. Why?
It's a game changer because we're going through the process of looking at all of our clinics. We have about 60 to 70 clinics across the archipelago. And if you were to go to any one of those clinics, you would get a new patient record number.
Correct.
And that record stays in that clinic so that your encounter and exuma does not align with, there's no communication with your encounter in Abaco, or New Providence, or in Agua. What this system allows us to do is you have one record in the public health system that allows us now to say, you have now traveled across wherever you're going, you know where your allergies are, what medications you're on, and if you are having an emergency, that information is also available to the emergency rooms, public emergency rooms, so they also use that information to make a determination as to how they can treat you. Again, it speeds up the process of what it is that they are going to treat you for based on your acute presentation.
You already started talking about it, but I think, again, it's important to state not only is it a game changer, but it does improve patient care.
Correct.
And why? How, I should say?
Well, it makes it safer. You have the more information you have as a provider or healthcare worker on a patient, it helps you to make the right decisions that best suits, their condition. Because someone presents with you with a case, they have hypertension, that's controlled or not, diabetes controlled or not, also determines whether or how you would treat them.
You talked about the SIP Plus.
Right.
What is the biggest challenge you think will be attached to this system in addressing maternal and perinatal health services?
The biggest challenge for us, I think, is going to be adoption of having those records completed at the time of encounter. So we don't necessarily want persons to go back after the clinic is finished and enter the data, but while you're seeing the patient, have the information completed. Of course, the challenge with that, we've learned in our small test cases, is internet connectivity.
Yes,
so,
yes.
We have to ensure that, we have to find a way to build redundancy so that when one system is down, the other is up, providing a smooth connection, because the healthcare worker is being asked to enter data into a system, and the system is not available. That decreases the likelihood of adoption or the success of adoption.
How does having access to your one's information, your healthcare data and information, how does that, how does that improve the healthcare journey for the patient?
So I think it has several rules or several impacts, and I think one of it is a paradigm shift. Have the patient to recognize and understand that the health information is actually their information. It's not the health system's information.
Right. It belongs to you.
It belongs to you. So if this health information belongs to you, then that means you are responsible for it, one. And two, you are responsible for your health. So that takes away the caretaker approach we have had to medicine in the past, where you come to the doctor or the nurse if you have a problem, and you let him or her decide what is best for you based on his or her experience. Now it's saying, no, you are in charge of your health and your health information. So we are here to assist you in making a decision to get you to the right place. So I think that kind of stewardship switches the focus from the health system to the patient or to the individual from which the health system has information on.
Does it actually make it easier for health visits? Because usually in the past, when people say, well, we have to go and send for your file.
Correct.
And get your file. You can now say, well, no, I have access. You should be able to have access. Here's my code, or here's my number. You can pull it up and access the information right there and save time.
Correct, to some extent. I think what you're touching now is the third component that we haven't touched on, that is the Bahamas National Patient Portal. So what the Ministry of Health is developing is a health information exchange platform, which would allow for persons to have the access to the information wherever they see a physician or any health services. So that platform will, for example, if you go to the private sector, if you go to the US, you have the ability to put your information on that site, on that platform, and it allows you to say to whoever you now have interactions with, this is my health data. I give you permission to look at it for this period of time, and I will revoke that use or that right after, that time period you've given has expired. But again, it also says to the patient, you are responsible for this data, and not just for the individual, but all dependents as well. So you would have that access to the information. It allows us to tie in not just your formal visits, but your informal visits. So when you go to the communities and have your screenings done, we have the data available to you on the Bahamas National Patient Portal site.
That's going to be actually exceptional once it's implemented. How are clinics and hospitals being prepared for this phased-in rollout throughout the country?
So you can imagine that this is going to take several lines of work. You have the infrastructure, which is technology that needs to be in place. We talk about internet connectivity. We'll have a program with the Bahamas telephone company to put fiber optic connectivity across all of our clinics. In addition to that, you talked about the computers itself. And we have to upgrade our computers to make sure that they are not only modern in terms of getting the speed, but also to handle the cybersecurity that's required to keep...
Some of them old computers got to go then, because they can't handle this.
Exactly. They have, and we have started the process already. We purchased about $500,000 worth of computers last year.
Wow.
We did another tranche coming in this year to help us to do that, as well as the wires and switches and routers for the security purposes. And the third part, of course, would be the training of staff. So we have engaged 3 training specialists, and they're actually targeted with making sure the healthcare workers are trained appropriately in the use of the systems, as well as in their work environments, and moving to the process, so they're understanding ability to ask all the questions. And the final key thing that we have had to employ was a behavior change specialist to ensure that we navigate the challenges, the pushback, and what are some of the challenges that we have for persons getting to adopt the system.
I hear new systems, I hear new implementation, training, more people involved with people's information. How do you ensure people's information is protected?
So we have a robust system. The Public Hospitals Authority has a system that has been tried and tested. It had some failures, but they've boosted it in the air. And we also have a private sector cloud server that has the support for us for cybersecurity aspects. We've had to engage a cybersecurity specialist to develop a framework to use in the public health system, and we're in the process of implementing those recommendations to ensure that every person engaged with the system understands the risk associated with and the implications if they are to breach those controls.
So how does this play into the bigger, grander scheme of things when you talk about future for healthcare in the Bahamas? Obviously, we're looking to try and not only modernize, but improve efficiency in the healthcare sector. Because the big concern at the end of the day is, will this improve what I get right now, especially in the public healthcare sector?
So how it improves, I could go back and use an example. When we had Dorian and Apico, and persons had to be displaced, the records themselves were safe because they were in a fortress of a clinic, but the persons had to be displaced to Long Island, to Louisville, to Andros. Their records didn't follow them. So we were unable to use that historical information to give them the services that they needed. And so we realized that that was something we needed to address. Dorian came on the heels of that, and the same thing. You could not get to the clinic, so you could not necessarily get what was happening with you. We lost track of persons who would have had chronic medical illnesses, and so some of them, of course, in the aftermath would have had some complications related to it. And that some of those are still happening now when you run over at the hospital. So the health information system keeps that information in a space that's always accessible, that you can now have this conversation. You can have now telehealth consultations with patients over the telephone or even over the computer with their records in hand to make a determination as to what's the next best treatment for this individual based on their health information and their health history. So that is the component of it. And of course, as I said, if you now make health services more accessible to the patient, then they become more of a partner in ensuring that their health is at its optimal best.
Time frame?
Time frame, so we have started the BEMR in 2 of our clinics, pilot clinics. We're waiting on the final approval for our secure storage so we can roll it out to the other clinics. So we're hoping that we'll have that. We've been waiting on that for about 2 weeks now, sorry, 2 months now. So hoping that any day now we get the clearance from the Office of Attorney General to sign the contract. So once that happens, we hope that by the end of summer, we'll have rolled it out in New Providence and touching the Family Islands as well by the end of the year for the EMR.
So a lot of step closer to greater efficiency in the public health sector.
Definitely.
Congratulations on that. That's a big move. Congratulations on this. This is always important in efficiency and reducing patient time. So hats off to you for this.
Thank you. And on behalf of the team, we say thank you. And we look forward to the participation of the public.
Definitely.
And the patience is going to take us to try to get to the point where we need to be.
All right. Thank you very much. And that does it for the rundown. Be sure to stay locked onto the ZNS network for the Bahamas tonight at 11. It's the final newscast in the country with the latest in news and information with Royston Jones. He's right over in the building getting ready for the 11 o'clock news. For all of us here at ZNS, I'm Clint Watson. Thanks for joining us. Remember, tomorrow is Wednesday, a great show planned for you. And then Thursday, the rundown on leadership. Good night, everyone.
At Fort Montague, I'm Opal Roach. This is ZNS.
The theme for World Teachers Day 2024 was valuing teacher voices toward a new social contract for education. And so the question was asked, are the voices of teachers in the Bahamas being heard? And the voices replied, no. Thus gave birth to Classroom Chronicles, solution-based critiques among teachers about teacher-related topics in education. I am Ms. J, your host for this debut season of Classroom Chronicles. Lord, I tired. Let me just put some work on the board and explain it from my desk. This who ain't teaching today. Is that you? Factors influencing teacher burnout include difficult parents, lack of autonomy, micromanagement, too many policies, high student-teacher ratios, reduced job satisfaction, among others. What does it mean for a teacher to just need a break? In today's session, we talk coffee gone on summer breaks. Let's talk about teacher burnout. Today we have with us in studio Miss Shandira Sands from Garvin Times, Mrs. Kelly Forbes from TG Glover Professional Development and Research, and Mrs. Yonetta Roll-Jellin from Aubrey Sale Primary School. I'm your host, Miss J. Let's talk Teacher Burnout on Classroom Chronicles.
Welcome to What's Trending. Join me, Jiminita Swain.
And me, The Bahama Beauty, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m.
Only on the ZNS Network.
We seem to remember our athletes when they make us proud at the finish line. Throw a Junkanoo parade when they return home, toss them a few dollars, and then forget about them until the next Members of the prestigious Fourth Estate should never sell themselves to any politician. Instead, keep their hands and noses clean in order to publish or broadcast the unadulterated truth. Well, that's how I see it anyway.
Read as I see it, exclusively at ZNSBahamas.com. New articles premiere on Mondays at 9 a.m.
Welcome back. Today we're discussing teacher burnout. What